Audio check. And then give it a minute for people to gather. Let's do that audio check, huh? Some sort of advertisement's gonna play and I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna make a funny quip. What the? It's not making any noise. It's just a sound.
The newest spicy Cheez-It superstar is... It's the Crunch!
Okay, alright. Cheez-Its. Hey, no, there's a cat. Oh, that's kind of fun. That's cute. And then give it a minute for people. Alright, audio sounds good. BRB, gonna let people gather. Fear not. Fear not, my friends. Oi! Oi! The new player content is always a blast. I mean, sure, whatever. I mean, whatever you want, dude. Let me save some replays from today's contest. And then we will get started. Has anybody in chat, there's only 19 of you, so probably not. Anybody in chat played the game Infested Planet? I like to have a main game I'm playing, and then I call it a second monitor game. It's for like when I'm editing videos and there's lots of long buffer time where I could play a game, but I need to play something that's not going to take a lot of CPU resources, you know? So you can't play like Dark Souls or something, because then your videos are going to process extra slowly and it kind of defeats the point. And also, I've noticed more audio glitches and stuff when I try and do other stuff on my computer while rendering a replay. So I think I have all the replays so far. Nice, I do. So yeah, and I've been playing Infested Planet as my new second monitor game, and it's really addicting. It's like, it's purely OCD bait. You're just cleaning up bugs off this thing. That's awesome. Loop Hero's fun. Play some turn-based games. Yeah, I have been, but even some turn-based games take a lot of processing power. Like, I have been playing Civilizations 4 and 5 occasionally as my other screen game. Infested Planet. I was playing... Damn it. Now why am I forgetting them all? I was playing some old RTSs, Red Alert, and stuff. Wow, you got your arms inside your shirt. Oh, okay. Sure, say hi to the stream. There's no camera.
Hi, stream.
You're gonna have to be a lot louder.
Hi, stream.
Oh God, okay.
Was that loud enough?
Probably. Tell your stream what you did today. They'll love it.
I do. I went and got some frames for some more pictures that I had printed. Put them around the house.
Put them all around the house.
Hung up some pictures in my office.
That's lovely.
It's great.
Now Hazel's here.
Yeah. Hazel says it's great. One of the pictures is of me. Yeah.
Whoa, this guy joined the real life army instead of our new player tournaments. Those are almost the same thing. That's messed up. Curio saying hi.
Hi.
Have you tried Heroes of Might and Magic? No, Turin plays it, so it's gross. No.
Hi,
no.
Hazel. She is here. Yeah.
Hazel's here.
She's here and she loves it. Hi, puppy.
Hazel loves loving it.
She loves loving it. Oh my.
Yeah. Hey, Contrarian Codex. Pathfinder War to War is absolutely fries my computer. Okay.
Like how I was an afterthought for Contrarian Codex. What up, human boy? And Grace.
Yeah, it's messed
Not
up.
in that order. Okay,
Not in
thank
that,
you.
okay, that's,
yeah, then
nice.
that's, yeah.
Turin cooties? Yeah, dude.
Just one picture of Hazel. Actually, technically, okay, there's one that I framed one of Hazel and I framed one of Ed. And then I put a couple in my office that aren't framed up on like a cork board of Hazel and Ed. So, not just one. But we don't need to go...
We do have a wallpaper for Hazel. It's just one room just has a bunch of Hazel.
Yeah, the Hazel room.
Encoding on the side. Well, my OBS said it crashed. But we seem okay. So, I don't know. I guess OBS was lying about that shit. Oh, now Hazel's attacking Grace.
Oh, I invited her up and I made a mistake.
You have fucked up now.
Hey, you're so tall.
Boo, only Hazel. Yes, only Hazel. Can I stream the game I want to talk about, or are you guys just gonna all have a nice
All
time?
right, I just wanted to say hi.
I'm talking to them too.
Oh.
Everybody here is not focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is now a Hazel stream.
Okay, I'll go get the camera and turn it on and all that shit.
Yeah.
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 All right, have fun.
Bye. All right, gang. Let's do this. Let's do some games. So, if you haven't seen any of our new player streams before, I generally go by the same pattern. Whether I used to be hosting them, now RTK hosts them because I am washed up, stupid, and dumb. Everybody gets 4 rounds of a Swiss stage, meaning you get 4 games in no matter what. And then after that, they go to top 4. So there'll be a semifinal and final best of 1. Everybody picked a single faction to play today. So how we're going to cast it, we're not going to cast every game of every Swiss round. That would be whatever, like, I don't know, take a lot of time. So what I usually like to do is I like to guarantee that everybody who submitted a replay will get on stream at least once, and then I guarantee cast each semifinal and final. Right. So in front of us, we have a crap ton of random replays for the Swiss stage. I'll parse through these, find ones that look interesting, making sure to diversify who we're seeing on screen. And then at some point, the tournament manager, who is currently Japadu of RTK, will send me semifinals and finals, which we will guaranteed cast, even if we've already cast those people before. Right. Thanks again to RTK for setting this up. This was their tournament. Their admins are running it. It's running on their server. They do a domination tournament for new players every weekend, and then every other weekend they're going to start doing land battle stuff, and I'll try to cast some of those. Well, actually, they might do it every weekend. I don't want to blasphemize them, but I think I was talking about streaming it every other weekend, but they might run it in between, and I think a different streamer, Renataki? Anyway, I'm going to fumble his name a bunch, but he's a cool dude, and he's going to try streaming some of those, so yeah. Anyway, every weekend, if you're looking for new player games to hop in and not get absolutely blasted by Berserk, then RTK's Discord is the place to go. Let's do it. Anyway, the Swiss tournament's actually in round 4, so they are going to be in the semifinals and finals soon. Since we're casting replays, we're not really in a rush. You know, I'll cast the semis and finals when they show up, but for now, let's look for some fun replays. I see one in front of me right now, Tomb Kings versus Skaven, with, hey, Renataki's right there. That's the guy. That's the guy who was going to do it. I mean, that seems like we should probably cast that one, but I just want to take a look around. We have 2 different people playing Skaven, and literally this Tomb Kings player took the exact same build versus both of them, which is very funny. I have some Slaanesh, some Words of Chaos, some Dwarves, some Norska, some Dark Elves, some High Elves, some Khorne, and some Chaos Dwarves, some Vampire Counts, some Greenskins, some Slaanesh. All right, decent spread today. Let's fucking do it. But we'll start off with the one we were hovering for so long, Renataki versus Arthur. Kodak's trying to humble brag about himself, and I won't let it happen. All right, first up is Renataki versus Arthurbi. Skaven Tomb Kings, a pretty fun matchup that both sides have a lot of stuff they can do. I think it is slightly Skaven favored, but I think most things are slightly Skaven favored. So there's probably some bias there, but I feel like Skaven are strong. For the Skaven side, we have 3 Night Runners and then a heavy rush. Rat Ogres, including the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep, a Mutant Rat Ogre, triple Doom Flayers, one is the Dwarf Thing Menace. We have Throtty Unclean with his Rat Ogre summon, Creature Killer, and no heal. I hate that, but whatever. Warlock Engineer with Flensing Ruin and Death Frenzy, and then some Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves. Except for the Tomb Kings, we have 2 Carrion that were trying to do a bit of damage, but they ended up just getting peeled off. A Bone Giant, Ark in the Black, 2 Ushapti Great Bows, 1 Chosen Gods, a whole bunch of Skeleton Warriors / Spears. We have the Kepler Guard and a Tomb Scorpion. I don't hate this build from the Tomb Kings. Tomb Scorpion's pretty decent against Skaven, provides terror at a relatively cheap and tanky price point. Bone Giant's good at sniping Skaven Lords and stuff, and Arkin is also pretty good against Skaven. Chosen of the Gods and the other Shop of Great Bows might be a bit of an overinvestment against Skaven, because if they're rushing you like this, you now have a lot of ranged resources that are going to be pretty tricky to keep safe as Throt barrels through the front line. I generally don't like Throt. I think he's overcosted for what he brings. I think Creature Killer has been nerfed into uselessness. But if you do take him, I think you would take him for the heal, so that you could heal the Pit Fighters especially. So interesting to see him without the heal. I'd probably cut Creature Killer and give him the heal instead. Otherwise the kid's fine. Rat Ogre Summon's okay. It's fine. It's fine. My problem with Throt is less that he is terrible, which he's still terrible. He's still terrible. But if you think he's good, my larger argument against Throt is Skaven have some of the best Lord options in the game, so why are you bothering with an okay at best Lord? Braciers are fantastic. Skrulk is good. Snitch is good in certain matchups. Warlord on a Brood Horror is pretty damn good. Ikit's still really, really fucking good. So anyway, this game have a lot of options. Don't pick Throt. The Molder Chariot frontline is slamming through the Tomb King's skeletons, and other skeletons are having to reposition to fill in the gaps as the Bone Giant tries to find somewhere to sit and shoot, as do the Chosen of the Gods, who are currently having to run back into Skeleton Horsemen to stay away from Throt and the Mutant Rat Ogre. Even though Throt has healing, Spirit Leeches probably do need to be focused on him just to attrition him out. He is actually not that tanky. He has regeneration, but he does take a lot of damage when he's in melee, so you know that heal cap is going to come up, and it's going to come up quick, so you need to start Spirit Leeching him early. And his leadership is still Skavenly, meaning fucking garbage. You can see he's at half HP. He's on a terror-causing mount, and he's still about to rout. That's why Spirit Leeches on him are good, and Arkin's doing that, so I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying he's doing a good job. The Skaven are running out of steam. As their Rat Ogres and Doom Flayers get bogged down in cheap spears of the Tomb Kings, they are starting to take a lot of damage, and Skaven didn't bring a lot of infantry of their own to provide any buffer. So this is just large entities sitting on top of spears and hoping for the best. Chosen of the Gods are still getting hunted down by the Mutant Rat Ogre, and there's really nothing the Tomb Kings can do about that. With the build they brought, there is nothing threatening in melee that can go stop that Mutant Rat Ogre, so it seems like the Chosen of the Gods are just left to their fate as the Bone Giant considers what to shoot at. He says he is firing. I'm just trying to figure out what he's aiming at as he fires off into the distance. He is shooting at some Rat Ogres that he previously routed. Probably needs to retarget as he hits his own carrion with a nasty shot. Tomb Scorpion is causing some disruption among the Night Runners. The Night Runners are feeling a little homeless, however. They actually don't have very much to shoot at. And I wouldn't hate for them to just abandon the last of their ammunition and go into melee to support the Rat Ogres and Doom Flayers. Rat Ogres and Doom Flayers can do a lot of damage to infantry, but they need support. Kind of like the Ogre Kingdoms. Any monstrous infantry really needs those teeny tiny bodies between their legs to keep them safe. Like Noblars help Ogres, like Skinks help Croxagors. Warlock Engineer throws down an overcasted Death Frenzy to give these Rat Ogres and Doom Flayers extra oomph. Still trying to cut through the Kepler Guard. The Tomb Kings are running somewhat low on chaff, so there's always a couple more left. And there goes Throt routing. He will be back. He'll regenerate up. He's fast enough to get away. The Bone Giant actually might be able to kill him. We kill him! Anyway, I know how to take all the Rat Ogre summons off of him. We kill him. Mr. Me seeks reference from Rick and Morty. There we go. Throt gets into the trees. The next tree will maybe block the shot coming in from the Bone Giant and give Throt enough time to get out of range, because I think the Bone Giant only has one shot left before Throt scampers out of range. Skaven are falling pretty far behind in the balance of power. I would tend to agree. The impact was pretty intense, and their ability to disrupt the weapons teams was very good, but there was just not a lot of staying power in there. No clan rats, no storm vermin, nothing like that. So we did just get down to Rat Ogres getting attritioned. Game's not over yet. Arkan is trying to snipe out the Warlock Engineer, will probably be successful. But we still have a pretty healthy Doom Flayer. We still have a pretty healthy Mutant Rat Ogre. Throt will return. He's back. He needs to chill, though. He needs to chill and regenerate. He can't come back too early, or the Bone Giant's just going to reroute him, which is a big problem. Or the Carrion diving him with only 11 leadership might actually cause him to route as well. So do hope Throt stays a little patient, uses some of that regeneration. So mainly, if the Doom Flayers, which are currently terror routing, which is really bad for the balance of power, if the Doom Flayers could find their way towards the Bone Giant and disrupt him from shooting, that could have been a way back in, but it is not to be. And Renataki gets knocked down a peg due to Skaven's poor leadership. Night Runners got okay value. Rat Ogres didn't really get a lot of value because they were just stuck fighting basic chaff, which is not what they want to do. Doom Flayers did pretty fine. Mutant Rat Ogre did fine. GG's. Thurby. Various skeletons, mixed value, but the ones that actually got into the fight did okay. Arkan did well. Carrion didn't have much to do. Tomb Scorpion caused a lot of nice terror. Bone Giant shot some things. GG. Queek is the best, of course. Queek sucks. Sucks. Cue the training montage of Throt showing how he'll carry the game. Let me pull up some statistics for you. This is pretty high level analysis that's difficult to wrap your head around, but we'll see if we can. So here's Throt on a Brood Horror with the exact same kit that player just brought him with, 1850. Then you have to buy a caster, or you could get Skrulk with 2 AoE spells, an AoE debuff, and then both summons. And you're still 200 gold cheaper. But don't you worry, my Throt enthusiast, because he's a big monstrous monster man who's on a monster. The Skaven can't afford a monstrous lord with regeneration for any cheaper than that. What are you, some kind of idiot? Ooh, fuck, he's only 1225. And if you really want to take his leadership spells, he's still 400 gold cheaper than this piece of shit. And you know what you get for 400 gold cheaper? You get 5 less melee defense, 35 less weapon strength, and 500 less HP for 400 gold. That's pretty crazy, but the human boy, you stupid asshole, he's a pretty cheap lord at only 1850. There's no other combat fast lords that could possibly be as cheap as him. Oh fuck, like Azazel is. Oh shit. Oh crap. Oh, and Azazel's really good. Oh no, well at least Valkyria's crazy expensive if you just, oh fuck, she's cheaper too. Oh shit, there's a bunch of better combat lords who are also fast. And some of them are even casters for less money than this piece of shit. He sucks. I hate him. I hate him so bad. Oh, fuck that guy. All right, let's go. Let's go. Spikes versus CB Alberic de Bordeaux. We have a metal caster. Triple Doom Knight. That's wild. Throt feels too strong. Need to nerf. No more bonus versus large. He does not have any bonus versus large anymore. It's true. It's true. All right. Let's do this. Alberic de Bordelot on Slanesh versus someone on the Warriors of Chaos. I can pull it up. Hang on. It is Spikes. So for Spikes, we have... That is Spikes, right? Yes. Cool. For Spikes, we have a Metal Caster on a Manticore with Final Transmutation, Searing Doom, and Tormentor Sword Net. We have a Soul of Damnation, Hell Cannon ROR, Aeson the Fallen, Mutal Vortex Beast ROR, triple Doom Knights, and 5 Marauders. My first inclination is that Seekers of Slanesh are going to quickly find their way onto the Soul of Damnation because we are very limited in our front line unless the Doom Knights get active very quickly. Though that could be a bait, get the Seekers to jump in on that, and then you rear charge them with Doom Knights and profit. On the other side, we have the Mask of Slanesh, her various dances, and then her Staff for Healing and Slippery, so a lot of combat stats. Chaos Sorcerer of Slanesh with Pavane and Phantasmagoria. Front line of Slongors and Devoted Marauders with Spears. Triple Devotee with crossbows, and then 3 Seekers. Interesting. That is a lot of crossbows. The Warriors of Chaos are probably going to want to get aggressive seeing those crossbows before they get in range of the Soul of Damnation and just kind of like one-tap it. Big problem for the Soul of Damnation versus crossbows is they will target the actual cannon and kill it very quickly, and then the unit's kind of useless. Doom Knights are going to jump in onto Seekers, but immediately getting Phantasmagoria'd, then the Seekers opt out and opt back in to get their charge bonus, which is pretty sneaky. And we have some Devotee Fire coming in, but still the Seekers are actually going to get punked. Doom Knights are strangely good against Seekers, it looks like. Their magic damage getting past the physical resistance, and since they're flying, they usually get a charge. So all right, that's a fun tech piece. I was not expecting to go very well. Huh. All right, Slanesh might be in a little bit of trouble. Other Doom Knights are trying to land on Seekers, but that's a 2v1. It looks like they're trying to get back into the air for now. As the Mask is taking a lot of damage, the Waltz of Lethargy is down, reducing the melee attack of her opponents, giving herself melee attack, but without that Mortis engine, she's gonna have trouble. Here, though, the Slongors are starting to show their qualities. They break through the Marauders and quickly get to the Soul of Damnation. So I flagged the Devotees would deal with it. I flagged the Seekers might deal with it. It turns out just the front line is gonna deal with it. They're just gonna jump in, but really bad snipe is coming on to the Mask. She's getting very low. I wonder if she's used either of her heals yet. Maelstrom of Change just doing a little bit of extra damage to her, and yeah, she has used the Staff of Masks once, which is pretty bad considering how low she already is. The Doom Knights are surrounding her. The Chaos Lord on the Manticore is getting good damage out. She's very close to routing, which since she's demonic would just kill her entirely. A second Doom Knight has plowed into the same fight, and Seekers are going to get their revenge while Devotees fire in. So this is actually getting pretty bad for the Warriors of Chaos. The game started really, really good, but this could be a bit of a throw as we have all 3 crossbows firing onto this giant blob of Doom Knights who are also just getting poked down by spears and stuff. So the Doom Knights need to re-separate. There's too many of them committed to this fight. They're not actually like multiplying their damage at all. They're just all taking more damage and getting stuck on each other. We still have 1 Seeker that's healthy for Slanesh. There's another one in here that is about to die. The Mask is still very low, but a full health Doom Knight has broken out and gotten to her. Since the game has dissolved into this much chaos, I would like to see the Doom Knights. I don't know why they're committing to this blob fight. They should probably leave the Mutal Vortex Beast to fight on its own and start picking off these Devotees of Slanesh with crossbows, because those are starting to become a problem. The Mask is not going to die and actually just leads the Doom Knights into some Seekers to get the Waltz of Lethargy buff. So we do have to kill these last Seekers. If you kill them, you can guarantee mobility dominance, and then you can go pick off the crossbows at will. That's probably a really good win condition here for the Warriors of Chaos. Fountain Transmutation should end the Mask. She can't dodge that damage with her high melee defense. 1 second, 1 tick of it left. She's down to 600 HP, but not quite demonic instability crumbling, because her leadership is just too high. Pavane rampages the Metals Lord down, but the last Seeker is off the battlefield, making Slanesh uncomfortable in their new role as on the defense. They can't dictate the mobility game anymore right now, as the Doom Knights are still putting in actually pretty insane work on the Chaos Sorcerers here. Doom Knights do have a little bit of anti-large. Like we said before, their magic damage bypasses all the physical resistance that Slaanesh/Demon units bring. The Mask is just trying to survive right now. His Mutal Vortex Beast to disrupt some of the crossbows. The other crossbows get the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal to rout. But that rout might save his life, because he was honestly hanging around a little longer than I would have liked. So it is nice to just get him out of range and not deal with it for now. Doom Knights diving in on the Devotees. Devotees with their hybrid melee stats. I mean, they're going to have to prove that those hybrid melee stats are worth something now, as they're stuck fighting a bunch of things in melee. They're not going to be able to get too much damage out hit range anymore. Doom Knights still really trying to chase down the Mask, who uses their final staff of masks to heal up. So a little bit of healing for them here, as the Doom Knights are going to get peeled off. But that damage might actually get them to rout or die, especially the Devotees also picking them off at range. One of the Devotees is routing, the other one's close to it. Slaanesh falls further behind in the balance of power, but I am getting a little concerned. And again, the Sorcerer of Metal is tempting fate. I wonder why he's sticking around. I hope he's sticking around because he has a final transmutation soon. Otherwise, he is way too close to danger for this. And I think he's bugged right now. That does not look like 65 speed to me. It's, I don't know, because that guy has 82 speed, and he's going significantly faster. So, I don't know. Sometimes flying units are a little cringe. Second Devotee has almost routed. It looks like we have a Phantasmagoria, which actually could be very big for Slaanesh here. Blocking those Doom Knights in place, saving your caster, of course, is huge. But the minus to leadership while you're getting shot could actually get them to rout, which would be problematic. You know, Vortex Beast struggling to chase off the rest of the Devotees. Again, the Sorcerer of Metal getting targeted by crossbows off and on. I think, like, the Mask is doing what I want the Sorcerer of Metal to do, where the Mask is worried about dying, so they've been avoiding combat at all costs. For some reason, the Sorcerer Lord of Metal seems to want to stay around, but not commit to anything, and that's just left him getting shot. So here we go, he's in with the final transmutation. That's great, but I'm just saying, when you don't have the Winds of Magic for it, keep him out of range. When you do have the Winds of Magic, come into range, cast it, and get the fuck out of there. That final trans might just win the game, as it hits both single entities. Routs one, the other one is Demonic Instability crumbling, and the Mask was the only thing keeping Slaanesh in this. Without the Mask, army losses will trigger. Give the Warriors of Chaos a win. Skaven mains have no room to cry. I'm just saying Throt sucks. I said at the start of that replay that Skaven are very strong right now. Skaven are super strong right now. I don't know. I think a lot of people underrate them. Doom Knights all did very well. Mutant Vortex Beast and the Hell Cannon also did nicely, and Spike's Lord did great. So everybody besides the Marauders did their jobs. Marauders, they just got massacred. Alberic de Bordelot. The Mask did okay. His caster didn't get a lot of value, but as a Rampage and Netcaster, that kind of makes sense. Slongors did their jobs. They tore through the Marauders and then shut down the Soul of Damnation. Devotees, mixed value overall. Seekers largely got shut down, but one paid for itself, which is fine. GG's. I keep wanting to pull up a blocker, and then I realize I don't have to. Next up, we're just going to keep rolling with Dwarves versus Norska, Duck Shark and Bimarn. Bimarn. All right, we're loading up. Bimarn and Duck Shark. That is a lot of shooting. I think the dwarves are going to have difficulty defending all that stuff. Okay, for the Norskins, we have Marauders, Marauder Bearmen, Marauders with spears, more Marauders with great weapons, more Bearmen. Oh my god. It's all Marauders. It's all Marauders. Holy shit, that's so many Marauders. All right. Then we have Wulfric the Wanderer on foot with Seafang. We have a Deathcaster on foot with Fate of Buna. And we have a couple armored skin wolves, but otherwise, it's just melee Marauders. All right, we got a donation, so I'll pause the game and focus on the person who gave me money. Zakinator, Human Boy, we've had new player tournaments. What about old player tournaments? Go into a nursing home and have a bunch of pensioners play Warhammer 3. I don't want to bother Alfredino anymore, bro. He's bothered enough. On the dwarf side, we have Thunderers, Miners with Blasting Charges, Dwarves with Great Weapons, the Grim Delvers, Thunderer ROR, a Cannon, 2 Bolt Throwers, 2 Goblin Hewers, Malachi Makaisen, and the Peak Gate Guard in the back line. Thunderers, I don't mind their positioning in a top-down sense, being on the flank and stuff, so they get good shots and they're armored and stuff. I get that. The problem is if you zoom in, they are on the downside of a hill, so they actually can't see shit. They will get shots off eventually, but a lot of their range is going to be wasted. Nice job. Aiming at somebody across the chasm that you can actually hit is pretty good, even if it's just basic Marauders. Probably not who you want to be shooting, but shooting someone is better than no one, so that's fine. Grim Delvers firing through a little snapshot they can get through as Dwarf Warriors tank a Sea Fang, but they'll largely be okay. Grim Delvers trying to clear out this chaff. Man, 2 Bolt Throwers and a Cannon all having literally nothing to do is pretty depressing, though. They have nothing to shoot at, as the Skinwolves that are their target have actually descended into a gully to try and stay safe. One of them lost half their models, which is quite something. And actually, here's the thing. Seeing that many Marauders and seeing this many ranged units, I initially think the Dwarves are totally screwed, but Marauders do suck pretty bad at killing Dwarven front lines. Even Miners can hold for quite a long time versus Marauders because of their somewhat limited melee attack. So maybe the limited Dwarf front line will hold. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, is sure the Dwarf front line will hold. There's only so much front line as just an unholy amount of Marauders starts spilling through the cracks. More Dwarf Warriors charge to meet the Marauders, but who will meet the Marauders' spears as the Bolt Thrower crews fire at point blank range? The Marauder Spearmen will get into combat as Goblin Hewers are hewing through, currently just hewing through random Marauders. Malachi doesn't have reload for them, so they're not going to get much out of that. Rangers with Great Weapons attacked by dogs. The Grim Delvers have fallen back. They're firing with Malachi and the Cannon straight into those Skinwolves who are actually going to rout. No way. No way this Dwarf build is working. That's hilarious. Peak Gate Guard, uncontested in quality on this battlefield. Now they are heavily outmatched in numbers, but they are way better than any single melee combatant that the Norskins brought. So the Peak Gate Guard going to have to do some serious work. Cannon is still firing. Malachi is still firing. The Grim Delvers shooting away at Marauder Bearmen who come in, shields up. An unholy wall of fire. Another Sea Fang tears to the back line. The Dwarves are actually holding pretty well so far, but more Marauders are streaming back into the fight after routing initially, and the Dwarven front line is starting to run out of steam. They held pretty decently for a 325 gold unit, or 425 if they're the blasting charges. Yep, they are. Are they 450 now? I don't remember. Anyway, they held as long as they could, and nobody's going to blame them otherwise, but the Bolt Throwers are now under threat. Goblin Hero crews have just become Slayers of old. It's these discount Slayer units charging into the Marauders, trying to hold them back as the Cannon is getting upset. Once again, it routes another Skinwolf for a second time, maybe a third. And shattering Skinwolves is the easiest way to get rid of them. Okay, yeah, that one does shatter off just because of their regeneration and stuff. They'll keep coming back, but if you shatter them, then all that regen don't matter. Norska's starting to claw their way back on the balance of power, and I would agree as they're finally getting onto some of those juicy ranged units. Bolt Thrower is down, a Cannon crew is under duress and soon to be down. Another Bolt Thrower crew is down. I still think Norska's got the legs for this, but this ended up being a closer game than I thought. As the Grim ooh, those aren't the Grim Delvers, they're the regular Thunderers. Regular Thunderers peeled themselves from those armored Skinwolves, and one more volley on them while they retreat would probably shatter them, but it looks like the Thunders have other things to do. They're going to aim sideways and shoot at other randos. Peak Gate Guard continuing to slap away. The Grim Delvers looking for safety as Dwarf Warriors charge, axes raised into the sides of these Marauder Bearmen, but them being Bearmen, they have pretty high leaderships. They'll be just fine. Uh-oh. Real bad. Wolford found Malachi. Malachi is the most piss-ass useless melee combatant I've ever seen. He has 41 melee attack and 45 melee defense. I swear, I have no proof for this. I swear his 45 melee defense is bugged. I have never seen Malachi dodge an attack. I have had a grandmother with her walking stick hobble at him, and then I cast Enfeebling Foe on her, so she had negative 68. Negative 60. I have a screenshot. I have receipts. She had negative 68 melee attack, and she attacked Malachi, and she hit him 4 times in a row, and his dumbass died. So I think he has 0 melee defense. I think it's a secret bug no one knows about. So that asshole is going to die very quickly. Wolfric, however, is also dying very quickly because the Peak Gate Guard showed up, and they're not fucking around. They are messing this fool up. Wolfric probably needs to back off, though the Peak Gate Guard are finally getting attritioned out as they sit in a pile of Norskin bodies. The dwarves rout en masse, and it very suddenly ended. I went on one rant about Malachi, and all of a sudden the game was over. All the dwarves just disintegrated in front of the massive bodies. And Wolfric is now retreating through his men to get away from the Angry Slayer with 0 melee defense. Where's the magic? They have a Fate of Unicaster. They have a Fate of Unicaster. Hey, hey, there's a Fate of Unicaster right there. Look at him. Look at him being over there. How well do Marauders kill Rangers? Decently well. They're Rangers, but sure. A single Pit of Shades would have made this much faster. Hey, they had Fate of Buna for some reason. I don't think that's the best spell to bring versus dwarves, but he brought one, so you all shush. You all shush. For the piles and piles of Marauders, pretty decent value spread throughout. Bearmen did fine. Bearmen with great weapons did pretty okay. Skinwolves got wrecked. For Duck Shark, it was looking bad, then it was looking good, then it was looking really good, and then it was looking bad, and then it looked real bad. Roller coaster of a game. Bolt Throwers got surprising value versus this army. Goblin Hewers did okay. Cannon did pretty well. GG. So Marauder maxing is OP. I mean, sure. Iron Drakes might have something to say about that, but sure. Next up, more Skaven with Gordon Ramsay versus Uncanny Book. Dark Elves versus Skaven. One faction is Skaven. The other faction is Poopy. Poopy, stinky, Dark Elves. For the Scabrinos, 2 Warp Lightning Cannons. Looks like we have 2 Poison Wind Globes, 5 Skaven Slave Slingers, 4 Rat Ogres in the back, and then we have a front line of Storm Vermin Halberds and Skaven Slave Spears. 4 Storm Vermin Halberds. Warlock Master with Cleansing Ruin, and then his Brass Orb. Neat. On the other side, for the Dark Elves, we have some Cold One Knights, some Dark Shards, Dread Spears, 1 Blackguard of Nagaron, a couple Dark Riders, and then a Supreme Sorceress of Dark Honor Dragon with Soul Stealer and Blade Wind. The Dark Elves have the tools to beat this Skaven build. They have good armor piercing in their Dark Shards and their Blade Wind / Dragon Breath caster. So they can kill the Halberds. I could see a version of this if you have too many like Dark Riders and Dread Spears and Bleak Swords and all disruption, no damage. 4 Storm Vermin could just be literally unkillable, but that's not going to be the case here. Warp Lightning Cannon's currently getting some decent value, just poking at the Cold One Knights and the Dark Riders for a bit. Good poke on Cavalry while the front lines move up. Dark Shard's going to be a little bit of a problem for the Skaven. They are outranged. The globes cannot reach the Dark Shards if the Dark Shards just stay at max range. Warp Lightning Cannons are not good at shooting Dark Shards, and the 4 Rat Ogres might have a hard time getting back here since the Dark Elves have the Cavalry advantage. Theoretically, if the Rat Ogres move to charge the Dark Shards, the Cold Knights could swoop up and kill them. Depending on their placement, obviously. Cold Knights are really far away, then yeah, they can't do it, but we'll see. Dark Shards getting in range, and they're going to first pincushion a poor Storm Vermin. Half HP in 1 volley from 3 Dark Shards. But still, Storm Vermin unshielded, not a fan of what's going on there. As the Warlock Master is going to hit the Supreme Sorcerer's Dark with a Cleansing Rune Overcast while in front of 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, so she has to keep moving. Specifically, probably wants to move off to the sides and force the Warp Lightning Cannons to just pivot. A lot of artillery is not considered great right now, and that's mostly due to their abysmal turn animations. Like there's times where they'll turn and then they'll need to reform lines, and then they'll turn again, they need to reform lines more, and it's just kind of a bitch. So yeah, the easiest way to mitigate damage from Warp Lightning Cannons is to fly in a circle around them largely. Brass Orbs down the Black Guard, who need to get engaged in melee. The Supreme Sorceress also needs to find safety, but the flank is in. We do still have Rat Ogres in the back line trying to peel, but there's not a ton of infantry because the Storm Vermin took up a lot of the budget. So there's no Skaven Slaves or anything to mitigate the charges. So actually the Warp Lightning Cannons and the Skaven Slaves are in deep trouble. And the Supreme Sorceress of Dark could be okay. She has a large health pool. She still has a 2,000 HP left, while the Warlock Master only has 3,000 because he's on foot. So like percentage, she looks really rough, but she actually has a decent amount of HP left if the Warp Lightning Cannons are shut down, which so far they are. One more Soul Stealer, she'll be relatively healthy, and she can keep using those Blade Winds for a bit of disruption. Actually, that was a very nice Blade Wind. It didn't do that much damage to the Poison Globes, but it knocked them down, which stopped them from bombing and instantly murdering these two blobbed up Dark Riders. So that actually ended up being a very good Blade Wind, even though it looked a little underwhelming. Cold One Knights also getting good damage, knocking out one of the Warp Lightning Cannons as a beautiful breath attack comes down the side. It unfortunately doesn't hit all the targets she wanted, but it got some of them. This is where the Cold Knights start to shine. We have Murderous Prowess procced, giving them a lot of leadership and extra vigor to stay in the fight for a while. Cleansing Ruin is going to hit the Supreme Sorceress of Dark. She is probably flat out dead if she doesn't have a Soul Stealer in the back pocket, which I don't think she does. I think we saw her use one and a Blade Wind already, so I think she's about tapped out. Dark Elf frontline is starting to get through the Skaven version as Rat Ogres are trying to get to Dark Shards. This is something that a lot of new players need to do. When your ranged is getting harassed, split up. Go 3 different directions. The Rat Ogre can't go to all of them, because as we're currently going, these 2 Dark Shards are running in the same direction, meaning the Rat Ogre can chase both of them at the same time. Just a heads up. When your ranged is threatened, separate. Supreme Sorceress Dark, very, very low. 500 HP with 5 ticks of Cleansing Ruin left and surrounded by Rat Ogres. She's probably dead as hell. There she goes, which might be the turning point in this game where the Dark Elves wish they had a Lord still. Dark Shard's still trying to peel as the Rat Ogres pile through them. We do have Dread Spears, so that's another thing. Okay, we're running in the same direction. Obviously, we talked about that. Another thing you could do is just sacrifice yourself for a moment and let the Dread Spears actually catch up and peel for you. Since you're not going to outrun the Rat Ogres anyway, all you're doing is taking longer for the Dread Spears to catch up and actually help you out. So either stop or separate, but running all together but away from your Dread Spears is pretty problematic. Balance power shifted heavily against the Dark Elves, and I do tend to agree. Murderous Prowess leadership has worn off. The Lord is Dead debuff is also weighing heavily upon them, so even the moderately high leadership Dark Elf army is starting to crumble and fall apart. Cold One Knights are routing, Black Guard are holding for now, but army losses is a hell of a drug that can take out even the most elite of halberds. And there it goes. Uncanny Book is in the chat. Yeah, this was tough once I lost my Lord. Bruh. No, you played fine. You played fine. Losing your Lord's pretty tough. Good job flanking the ranged units. You shut them down decently well. Your Lord just got a little over aggressive without Soul Stealers to heal her back up, but that's fine. Dark Shards did pretty well until the stupid dumb butt Rat Ogres got onto him. Yeah, GG's. They all replays? I mean, probably. I haven't seen any postings about live games yet, and I don't know. I'm not against live games, like, ever. It's not like I'll never cast a live game again, but there's no lag with replays. There's no awkward vamping when I'm sitting in a lobby waiting for people to make builds or do pick and bans, so there's advantages to replays I like. Makes it just concise stream, but I don't know. If I hear semifinals and finals are happening live and I've cast everybody's replays already, then I'll probably hop in. Sure, why not? All right, what do we need? So we have Anime Kid I haven't cast yet. I see Corn. We have Capi Sikam I haven't cast yet. Zin Money and Nomi I haven't cast yet. That looks just miserable. Then we have Ajuru. Also haven't cast him yet. Oh, we do have some semifinals that have happened. Okay, I'll save these up. There we go. I wasn't pinged by anybody. It just happens. Jeb's messaging me. Why? Fine. Okay, all right. We saved both semifinals. Keep your pants on. All right. So we have some semifinals here. And then we do have a final that's apparently happening. It looks like we're going to do the final live. That's double Hell Pit versus Slanesh. Hold. Void Laws joined CB. It seems he provided some unholy tactics to their players. Okay. It's good. We're gonna just jank out for a second. We are gonna catch the finals live, and then I'll go back and cast the semifinals. So, whatever, man. It's just a rip-roaring good time. And I need a spectator slot. Okay. No, it's fine. Do whatever. Blockers up. So you can't see this the shiz. Barp. I need a spectator slot, please. Okay, while I wait for them to get their collective poop in a group, let's take a look. So we have some Zin money. Nas 4. Oh yeah, we haven't seen High Elves yet today, which there are replays for. I just haven't got around to them. Okay, I don't need that replay. We've already seen both those players. Already seen both those players. Just parsing through replays I don't need. I might need that one because it's the only one that features Ajiro. I might need that one as the only one that features No Me. Might need that one as it's the only one I see with Anime Kid. Might need that one as the only one I see with Cappy Scum. That's Nas 4. Wow. Wow, people just making me cast their games. That's fucked up. All right, I'm gonna delete this Skaven High Elf one though, because there's a High Elf Dwarf one, and I see we have a lot of Skaven today, so I'll just mix it up a little bit. All right, let's go see if these degenerates got me in my lobby code. Lobby code CB, no spec slot. Okay. That's fine. I don't want to spectate anyway. Aaron, are you a different Aaron? Are you an Aaron that like used to hang around like a year and a half ago? I feel like I recognize that profile picture, but I'm unsure. I don't know where the spec slot is, and I'm feeling awkward. I want to cast games, not sit in the menu. Let me do the game. I've been here and there. No, you haven't. Brr. Grr. Slot. Damn it. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. He opened like 80 spec slots. Holy. Shut up! Sorry, my cat meowed at me. So finals is going to be Slaanesh versus Tomb Kings. Both armies sitting on less than 100 gold, so this should be getting kicked off quickly. Yes. Tomb Kings are ready. Even though I see where they could put some gold, but I guess they're just not going to spend that gold. That's fine. Nope, that's fine. Whatever. Leave it on the table. Fuck it. You don't need that gold anyway. You don't need it. Slaanesh is down to 5 gold. They might ready up any second. Hey, Ed. Dreaded Saurian says... Pss, 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 pss. He doesn't care. Now, is it because he's anywhere between 16 and 13 and too old for that shit? I don't know. For me, Ed's always responded best to this little noise I can make. I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but it's little. That's done him best, but now he's like half deaf, so I don't know if he even gives a shit. Quickly! Swiftly! I'm playing a Vlad von Karstein campaign right now, Alloy, with some friends. They're beastmen and dwarves. Dude, the Vampire Counts campaign needs a rework so bad. The Blood Kiss system is fine. It's not terrible. It's fine. Where I notice they need a rework most is 3 things. Okay, 3 things. One is positive for the vampires, but I think shouldn't be in the game. And the other 2 are negative that I think the vampires really need to get better. Their building trees are so dog shit. They're terrible. I hate it. I have so many settlements that I literally don't want to build anything. There's the one building that gives you income. It gives you income and control. And then you're like, done. You build the other building that gives you growth, but if you already have enough growth or don't give a shit about that area of the world, then why do you need growth? You get more vampiric corruption, which all of my provinces hit 100 vampiric corruption like instantly, so who cares? So the blue tree buildings are already burnt. And then the defensive buildings, I guess you can build those, but nobody's getting to the middle bullshit settlements of Stirland when I have Reichland and Sylvania. So it's just like, there's not a lot of buildings you can build in settlements that aren't recruitment centers. I don't know. So their building browser needs an update. And I complained to CA because I didn't even know this technology was in the game. But holy shit, the Vampire Counts technology tree is garbage. It's garbage. So in the bottom right tree is where I've been spending most of my time because I really wanted to get the extra blood kiss and the extra diplomacy and stuff because I wanted to be friends with the Empire in this run. And I am. All right. I know I said Reichland earlier, but I was making an example. In this specific campaign, it's like I'm friends with the Empire and I'm expanding south. Point being, in the bottom right tree, the first couple of texts you can get is like, oh, hey, get a blood kiss. Get like 10 diplomacy with every faction in the world. And then there's one that's get 25% more gold from your city buildings and 15 growth. That's like a second tier technology in the bottom right tree. One of the final 2 technologies, there's actually 2 of them in a row that are the exact same. They say get 5% more income. This is all they do is get 5% more income from a certain building. If you figure out what that building is, it's a tier 4 and 5 building that builds necromancers or vampires, both the one technology for each one. These are high tier, late game technologies to get 50 to 100 gold more from these buildings that you could only have in major settlements. So you realistically have like 4 of them by the end of the game. So there's a technology that gives you 400 gold per turn by the end of the game if you build those buildings. That is so fucking bad. It's terrible. It is just terrible. And what's even more fucked up is the technology I mentioned, the earlier one that gives you growth in city value. The city buildings give you more gold. You have more of them. So they individually give you more gold. You have more of them all over your fucking empire. And then it gives... Don't close me in because I'm shouting. I like shouting. The world deserves to know. Yeah, you can shout. It's fine. Love you. All right. That one gives you 25% more income on buildings that give... You need to close the door for it to stay closed. It is tight. Our house is shit. Anyway, I need to finish this thought because Grace interrupted me rudely. Yeah. 25% more gold on buildings that give you more gold than the late tier buildings. You will have way more of them in your empire because you have more cities than you have tier 5 settlements. And it gives you global plus 15 growth. All over the goddamn place, just 15 growth. And I'm like, who made this technology? Who made these late game ass techs? And they're like, 50 gold on a tier 5 building. Yeah, that'll be super fucking worth it. Hell yeah. It's garbage. It is garbage. They're going to be OP after the big DLC. Oh, probably. All right, we're in finals. Let's cast this final game live so that people can stop telling me to do more live stuff because I never do anything live anymore. Slanesh, piloted by Alberic de Bordelot. Arthur B, piloting the Tomb Kings. For our final, we have Fiends, Hellstriders, the Riders of the Mighty Serpent. That is 3 Fiends, very expensive. Nekari, also very expensive, with Pavane of Slanesh as their only spell, and then Witstealer Sword and Willing Prey for their abilities. Frontline of Spears mixed with Slongors. That is a very expensive and fragile Slanesh build. On the other side for the Tomb Kings, a bit tight. We have a Carrion up in the sky. We have the Sphinx of Usef, Necrosphinx Regiment of Renown, Arkan the Black, Bone Giant, Kepragard, Tomb Guard ROR, Frontline of Skeleton Warriors, and Spears. Then we have 2 Tomb Guard with halberds in the back with the Chosen of the Gods as well. Arkan brought Fate of Yuna and Spirit Mage. I am a little worried that this Tomb King's build is too small. I worry that Slanesh will be able to get a lot done here. Dreaded Saurian, I'm sorry your cat doesn't like cat food anymore, but at least they're eating, right? The worst thing for old animals is if they refuse to eat. You're not really that interested in the DLC outside of a possible endgame. Yeah, the Ultimate Crisis stuff is really cool, and I'm glad they added that to the game. But in all of my campaigns, I've never actually had a problem with the late game stuff so far. Like, I had the Vermintide the other day, and it was just all the Skaven Lords respawned at where their original home locations were, and I was playing the Empire. So that actually literally didn't affect me. I watched Throt pop back up in Kislev, and I was like, oh, okay. And then the Kislev AI squashed him. I watched Queek pop back up in the Southlands, and Khorne ran him over a second time, and it was just kind of like, oh, well, that's... okay. Whatever. Now, if the Vermintide was like every tier 5 city in the world gets attacked by a basic 20-stack Skaven army and just see what happens, that'd be a little different. And maybe OP, sure, but... just saying, when it's like, yeah, just all their legendary lords respawn where they started, then it's like, oh, well, they're probably just gonna get murdered again. Slongor's advancing under threat from the Chosen of the Gods as the Bone Giant is getting some shots in onto the Fiends. Takes out one with 1 shot. Goodbye, little Fiend. Disappears into nothingness in the snow. And Carrion trying to dive the Slongors. I think Arthur's just distracting him, breaking up the advance, not actually thinking the Carrion are going to kill the Slongors or anything. So we're off. Slongors will make mincemeat out of the Skeleton Warriors, but Skeleton Warriors being undead take a while to die. Decent HP pools, mostly just being essentially unbreakable. Crumbling, whatever, but still, you have to kill all of them before you can get through rather than just route them and move on. Fiend's also going to pile straight into the front line. Realizing that the back line is also full of infantry. If it's infantry wherever you go, then there's no real reason to go to the back line. You can just go through the front, so I appreciate that. There's no mass to stop them, so the Fiends just get straight through, as you can see. Nekari is in. Nekari is trying to hunt for Arkan, but we are seeing a bit of why Nekari's not taken very often. Their very beautiful animations are also, for some reason, finicky and often miss smaller targets, so having issues truly getting to Arkan the Black is debuffing him. Pavane gonna rampage him, and I thought he had Willing Prey on him, but it looks like not. This might be the death of Arkan straight out. Nekari has insane weapon strength if they actually manage to hit, and they don't. They got distracted. Just trying to go attack something else, so go Nekari, go. One of our fiends is demonic instability crumbling already, putting Slaanesh at an early disadvantage, and the bounce of power and the damage value all seem to show that Slaanesh is having a bit of a tough go. Arkan is once again under threat as Nakari has refocused onto the Lord of the Tomb Kings after getting briefly distracted. We are standing in Tomb Guards with halberds, and there is a Necrosphinx coming though, so maybe we need to bail Nakari. Maybe we're overcommitting. Run. All right, Nakari's trying to get the fuck out of there. Nakari does have healing of sorts. Whenever a unit next to them completely dies, they do get a heal. Narcissism tier 2 army ability used on the Sphinx of Usef to lock it down, so Nakari can dive back in onto Arkan. Really deciding that the Lord Snipe is the only way they can win this game at an early deficit. They're pushing through. So if these Tomb Guard or whatever these are, Skeleton Warriors Arkan summoned, there they go. They died next to Nakari. Nakari gets a juicy heal off of that they desperately needed. So really big moment for them to get that heal. Arkan hits him with a Spirit Leech. Ushapti melee variant are keeping Fiends at bay. And the Bone Giant's just trying to find somewhere to sit and shoot. Probably at Nakari, maybe at Fiends. So Slaanesh has averted just abject disaster so far, and once again rampaging Arkan, once again trying to snipe him, but Nakari's like, just like we said, with all the jank, man, they should be massacring this fool, and instead they're kind of bumbling around as the Necrosphinx has found them. Once again, they need to back off. Arkan is low but still alive, which is all the Tomb Kings really need out of him. Just be alive. Use your summons, use your Spirit Leeches, as we get another ability that looks like the tier 3 army ability, Fascination, onto Arkan. He's been rampaged, netted, rampaged again. I suppose one of the nets was onto the Necrosphinx, but still, it's a lot. Arkan's back in the fight with Slongors and now Fiends as they try and pick him off. A little bit of poke damage. Nakari not able to finish him, as we mentioned before. Ushapti, 8 seconds until they fade away, so that is a fake full health monstrous unit. Definitely helping the bounce power a little bit as we have a fake skeleton summon. So a lot of summons, making the battlefield a bit murky for who's actually ahead. I mean, the Tomb Kings are ahead. I mean, they're ahead, but how ahead, right? If all the summons fade, how bad really is it? As Arkan, once again, under attack by Nakari. Once again, Nakari T-posing like an absolute baller. Strikes Arkan, does hit him, and maybe gets him to start crumbling. No, his leadership rallies at 1. There he goes, he starts to crumble. He's crumbling, he's crumbling. Is this Slaanesh's ticket back into the game? Arkan needs to die next to Nakari to give Nakari life, but Arkan rallies briefly. Nakari didn't get the heal. Why didn't Nakari get the heal? He was right there. I think it was in range. I think that's some bullshit. Army loss is gonna take Nakari out. No, you didn't get the heal from Arkan. Oh my god, Tomb King's OP. Tomb Kings OP, Arthur B gonna win. Rip in peace. Nakari missed 4 or 5 attacks they shouldn't have, and that cost them everything. Fiends struggled to get through that basic front line. Hellstriders also had a tough go. One of them got literally 0 value. Slongors killed skeletons. But for what end? On the other side, Arkan and the boys didn't get a lot of value. Arkan did well, Tomb Guard did well, Necrosphinx did well, and the shooty shoots did okay. Renataki is here, being a person. All right, back we go. I'll get to the semifinals in a little bit. Those are up there, but first, let's finish casting some stuff. So I think I deleted all the replays I don't need. So we need this one for Cappy. We need this one for Anime Kid. We need this one for Nomi. We need this one for Ajuro. We need this one for Nas 4. And then Zin Money is in one of them, but he's also in the semifinals, so we'll get there. Zin Money in the chat. Let's not cast his games until later then. Let's keep him around. Let's keep Zin Money around. We're not gonna cast any of his games, all right? He's gonna have to wait in chat for quite a while before we get into his games. Oh shit, it's one of his games! Vampire Counts versus Greenskins, Zin Money versus Nomi. Also, Zin Money, you sound familiar. Did you join a bunch of new player events a while ago, like a long while ago, and you were bringing some really weird Vampire Counts shit, and I liked it? I'm trying to remember if that was you. I remember we had a Vampire Counts player who was bringing some wild craft. Well, for the Zin money we have in front of us, we have Blood Knights with lances. I suppose there's the sword version now. Vargeist, Fellbats, Von Karstein Lord with Flock of Doom, Invocation of Heck, and then some buffs on his dragon. Then we have 3 Crypt Horrors, a Necromancer, probably with a Forbidden Rod, yup, and a Lesser Raised Dead, and then zombies. And the Cunning Stalkers. Inside for the green skins, we have Orc Boys and Orc Spears, Black Orcs, the like non-Great Axe variant. Ruglin's Armored Orcs, Goblin Archers, Snotling Pump Wagons, a Giant River Troll Hag, Gorbad Iron Claw, and then Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, Hammer Gork, and Orc Biggin. A very diverse greenskin build, a lot of different kind of units I had to go through there. Well, Zin money, we're happy to have you back. For a short stay, a long stay, don't know how long you feel like playing, but happy to see you regardless. Snotling Pump Wagons get dove on by the Von Karstein Lord. He will be completely fine here. Archers, making this a little less fine. They're not going to burst him down or anything, but damage is damage. Nice Purple Sun in from the River Troll Hag, who actually brought Purple Sun and Spirit Leech, so she's just trying to kill off zombies, which is fine. As we saw in a different game, the very first game of the day actually, Skaven rushed with Rat Ogres and Doom Flayers and stuff, but without infantry support, they died quickly, so killing the zombies can be a important goal. Black Orcs charging straight into zombies and Crypt Horrors. They should be fine. Ooh, they popped a movable bulwark too. 66 melee points. This is one of the rare instances where I really like that ability. So my criticism of the Black Orcs when they came out was their abundance of defensive capability on a roster that is so offensive. But in a game where you're just trying to protect your 4 archers, and if they get to fire, you get to win, I do like taking the Black Orcs and just being like, you will not pass. This front line is going literally nowhere. So that's a good use of their ability. Really like to see it. Very creative. Zin money looking to change how things are going. So now he's starting to get active with his mobility units. Fellbats bait the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers into a fight that the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers would win before, you know, a bunch of Blood Knights pile out of the trees, rear charge you, and absolutely eviscerate those squigs. And it looks like they're going to take out the Snotling Pump Wagons too. So the Vampire Count's front line is stalled, which is not good, but on the flanks they can still get some work done. Other Fellbats diving onto Orc Boy Spears. Where are the Vargeists? You need to watch out for that. One Vargeist is here. Is there only one Vargeist in the build? I thought there was 2. Maybe I'm delusional. Looks like I'm delusional. So the Vargeists are going to get onto the back line, and these Orc Boar Biggins probably have to countercharge them, or the archers have to turn and protect themselves. Either or, but just letting these Goblin Archers get eaten alive is not good. There we go. Orc Boar Biggins going to charge in with a Wah proc. They have plenty of melee attack to get through the paltry melee defense of the Vargeists, and they're going to do a lot of damage. Vargeists are famously quite squishy. So we need to see something here. It looks like the Von Karstein Lord is diving in to bail them out a little bit. Blood Knights were trying to make their way over. They're getting bogged down in Orc Boy Spears, so Zin money has to keep giving them orders to leave, and they keep getting dragged back in. Invocation Hack really trying to save the Vargeist, and he might be able to do it. There's the terror of the Orc Boy Biggins. Vargeist hanging on. Their leadership is so bad right now, but it will get better. When you take that first burst of damage is when you get the worst of the leadership effects. They have the hunger. They have a Lord nearby, so it looks like they're going to rally soon. There's that second Vargeist. I knew I saw one. Back into these guys. The archers are entirely disrupted. The front line's going great for the greenskins. Fantastic. No problems. Big problem? Backline. Backline getting doped by Vargeists and Blood Knights, and the Orc Boar Biggins were just not up to the task. The Night Goblin Squig Hoppers got killed off by the Vampire Count's ambush earlier, so it's pretty bad. I think the tide is turning against the greenskins. Balance of power is still slightly in their favor, but that will all change as the Vargeists continue to feast on various archers. The front line fades away for the vampires slowly, but that's its entire point. Lose, but lose slowly. So they're doing their jobs. Necromancer is still somehow alive, even though Gorbad Ironclaw is in proximity. I think it's probably all these zombies that are in between him and his goal, but now with a Purple Sun ripping through their backline, that should not be a problem much longer, as Gorbad pushes against the bodies of the undead to try and get to the Necromancer that is his target. But actually, the Von Karstein Lord delivers himself, and I don't know if you want that fight. Gorbad does 800 damage per chop right now, and he turns around, he gets chopping. I would definitely just keep hitting the Von Karstein Lord. Probably needs to back off as he does take big damage. Gorbad once again targets the Necromancer just as Zin money takes his Lord away though, so he's not too concerned. Black Orcs still churning away, still pretty healthy. River Troll Hag very healthy. Still have some Orc boys, and Gorbad himself is actually doing decently, though we do have a nice big breath attack coming in onto the Orc boys, and Black Orcs a little bit of damage on both. Vampire Count's front line is fading away. Gorbad just trying to get through all the bodies that are between him and his actual targets. When he can get onto the Necromancer, he will kill it quite quickly. Meanwhile, Zinmani's Lord is focusing on other things, realizing that last time he fought Gorbad went very poorly, is trying to snipe out the River Troll Hag in the meantime, getting Blood Knights and Vargheists to dive onto the Black Orcs as well. Take out Gorbad's support and just grind him down in the late game is also fine. Gorbad just got a chop. Unfortunately, being on a pig mount, he doesn't get to pick his options too much. He just kind of has to chop at whoever is the most expensive that happens to be next to him at this moment. There's a Spirit Leech onto the Von Karstein Lord. Undeath Resurgent giving him some melee defense, and that does block an attack from Gorbad, who's getting dangerously close to routing. Surrounded by undead. Dragon Lord diving on you. It's all pretty intense. He does not have immune to psychology. He doesn't even have cause fear, so he's actually being affected by stuff near him that's scary, which is spooky. A lot of Vampire Count stuff has fear. I think literally all of it has fear. We got some archers back, huge for the greenskins, get a little more damage down, but the bounce power is turning in favor of the Vampire Counts ever so slightly. Man, a lot of these health bars are low. The crumbling is still happening. If the greenskins can just clean up the field, they can still win this. The Necromancer is an artificially large amount of the bounce power this late in the game, being that healthy when he's useless in melee combat. Zinmani's Lord is decently dangerous, and we still have a full health Blood Knight, but with a full health caster, with some healthy Black Orcs, and if Gorbad can remain alive, the greenskins definitely have a little bit of teeth left. Zinmani throws down a breath attack, it looked like, onto some retreating Orc boys, and then dives the archers. Blood Knights charge in. Gorbad's still holding, but barely. And all around him, he has the Great Letos. These Black Orcs are actually inspired to greater heights. And they turned off Immovable Bulwark, which is good, giving them more melee attack in the late game. Still chopping through zombies, Cunningstine Stalkers. Crypt Horrors getting near their healing cap, but the greenskins' leadership is just looking so dire. The River Troll Hag thinking about routing at above half HP. Gorbad is very injured and also thinking about leaving. The greenskin archers are fading away. We have one goblin archer that is back. He is firing in, but the leadership is just too big of a problem as Zinmani's Lord comes back. Still very healthy, trying to get a hit on Gorbad. Does get hit with a Spirit Leech, lands a nasty shot on Gorbad, and that's probably the game. If he hadn't been able to hit that shot and Gorbad had fought back, maybe it would have been okay, but the Terror out taking him away, all of a sudden everybody breaks, and that's going to be army losses in a second, I imagine. Gorbad's back briefly, Giant River Troll Hag's back briefly. But briefly to what? Their only advantage was they had more infantry than their opponent, but the Black Orcs just broke. So now you have to fight a Dragon Lord who is healthier and has healing on top of his own support. That's not going to go well. Gorbad jukes the first shot, rides away on his pig, doing his best. The Black Orcs might rally. Hammer Gork is back online shooting at the Blood Knights, but it's funny, but it's not going to win you the game as Gorbad does get hit by Zinmani's Lord. One more shot is going to kill him off. And that should finally trigger army losses. You serious? That wasn't enough to trigger army losses? What's even here? Hold on, what is in the distance? Nothing. Okay, nothing. I saw on my map that there was something over there. It's an Orc Boy Spear that's still routing. So yeah, literally the game is like, I don't know, this River Troll and the Hammer Gork could fucking carry it versus a full health Blood Knight and a half health Dragon Lord and a full health Necromancer. You never know. They could. There's army losses. I'm telling you they won't. They will not carry versus that. I just made a cool war video about drugs in Warhammer 40k. Please check it out. I made it for you. That doesn't seem relevant. This is not about 40k. And I don't think you made it for me, because I don't watch 40k content. I don't know. That just felt like self-promotion I didn't permit, so I'm going to delete that. Self-promotion is fine if, like, we talk about it at a time, but I don't know. Random channel I've never really talked to popping up and promoting something that's not my content sphere is odd. Getting rid of it. I don't like it. I don't like it. We don't talk about 40k here, unless it's Total War 40k, and people talk about that a lot. You know, I feel bad. Nah, I can't undelete it. Whatever. Fuck it. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Good win by Zen Money. No me. Good hustle. Good effort. Very close game. Proud of you both. A little more proud of one of you. You can figure out who it is. Let's not watch more Zen Money right now because I fear the game that is literally 3 Wrathmongers and then Chosen. That seems aggressive. Want to see some high elves? Okay, we gotta think this through. Can't have dwarves back to back. Can't have vampires back to back. There's also vampires in the semifinals. A lot of pressure. All right, let's get a dwarf out. Duck Shark versus Nas 4. Oceanids Spotted versus Durf. And Durf brought fire guns. So those Oceanids are going to have a good time versus the fire guns. Double hammer, though. Duck Shark played that Norska game where 5 billion Norskans assaulted him, and he's like, if I had 2 hammerers, I win. All right, we have a cannon, 2 bolt throwers, a goblin hewer, Malachi Mkaisen. Then we have some rangers, miners, 2 hammerers, as you mentioned, the Grim Delvers, some regular thunders, and some blasting charges. Sorry for bringing the same army. I didn't realize you'd have to cast it 3 times. Duck Shark, I demand that when you're playing in tournaments and enjoying your free time, that you think of how it might affect me if I happen to cast your games. I think that's most important when you're playing in a tournament, is to think about weird nebulous things that are largely outside your control. In case it was not clear, that was a joke. I think you're great. I think you're doing amazing. And I think your name is awesome. Duck Shark. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, for the high elves, we have Tyrion, Erevanarian, wielder of Sunfang, savior of the Phoenix Crown, and defender of Ulthuan. Currently serpentining like his life depends on it to get into the enemy lines. We have 2 Silver Helms and the Fireborn in the distance, 2 Oceanids, 4 White Lions of Krace, and then a Metalcaster with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom. Tyrion is getting slaughtered by the Goblin Hewers. Oh my god, it's everything they've ever wanted. He pops Heart of Avalorn already, but it doesn't matter. They're still just chucking axes into his face. Holy shit, he's like dead. They use all their ammo? No, they didn't use all their ammo. Oh, he's so dead. Even if he gets outside these dwarves, he's so dead. Searing Doom is landing in on him right now as the Goblin Hewers are like, open up. We got more axes. We'll throw them straight in your face. Holy shit. For Tyrion, what's their value? Oh my god, it's already 2,000. Goblin Hewers now turning towards the Oceanids. Oh boy, they're also hella dead. Wind up. Axes out. Yeah, nice missile resistance, nice physical resistance. Not idiot. Get absolutely cooked. The Major Metal got murdered by something. I don't even know what. This is all happening too fast. Everything's just dying. Artillery Master and Eyes of Gribney helping out these guys. The Fireborn and Silverhelms are coming in now, but to what end? Tyrion's routed. Maybe dead. No, he's just routed. He's fine. Tyrion's routed. Metal Mage routed. Oceanids, one crumbled. The other one is actually having a hard time fighting these Hammerers. Plague of Rusted the Hammerers just to help out a little bit. The White Lions are here. To be a little more tactical real quick, instead of just hype analyzing all the time, the High Elves didn't coordinate their assault at the same time, so the White Lions arrived way later than the Oceanids is a problem. As we see, they are getting shot without the White Lion support, so yeah, you would want to stagger and not stagger your advance. You'd want everything to hit at the same time, so the Oceanids probably need to be deployed behind the White Lions so that since they're faster, it'll take them longer to cover more grounds than they'll arrive at the same time. Thunder is trying to finish off the Major Metal. Both Oceanids are gone. And Tyrion's waiting for Heart of Avalorn to come off cooldown. As soon as it comes off cooldown, he is going to get a giant heal. So I'm going to keep that up in the top left so you can see it for when he pops up. We do have Silver Helms and Fireborn in the back line already. Tyrion is heal capped. No more healing for him. Fireborn causing a lot of disruption. Balance of power is dwarf favored, but not over just yet. The Major Metal is routed for the 2nd time. One more route and she will shatter, and the dwarves won't even have to worry about finishing her. This is kind of the problem we mentioned in the Norscan version of Duck Shark's game, though, is can you hold on? His dwarf build is everything I say about Skaven and Vampire Coast and dwarves put on steroids, where it's like, after the shooting stops, you need to hold on and see if you can just win, because your shooting is most of your damage. Duck Shark's builds so far have been like so much goddamn shooting that when it fades away, he's in real trouble. So I wonder if they have the legs to stay in this. They do have 2 hammerers, so it's not nothing. It's getting a little spooky. Tyrion's back onto Malachi. You know how I felt about Malachi because I talked about him earlier in the stream. I think he has 0 melee defense for some reason, and he's going to die. White Lions are churning through dwarves as best they can. More Searing Dooms are coming out onto the bolt throwers, who need to find a way to get one more shot on the Mage of Metal. Just throw on guard mode and shoot at her or something. Get rid of her so that you don't have to deal with the caster for the rest of the game. That'd be a pretty big win for you. Malachi is fighting Tyrion on top of these miners, though Tyrion's 72 melee defense against the miners' 17 melee attack means he's probably not going to get hit, like, literally ever. I don't know how the Fireborn ended up literally surrounded, but they are literally surrounded by dwarves. There is one side they can break out, and they're now starting to, but they did take a lot of damage for their efforts. And this is not a healing high elf build, so that Fireborn health is just the health you get, unfortunately. Malachi still dueling to the death with Tyrion, and it will be to the death because he is dying very quickly. He's less than 1,000 HP as Tyrion's doing fine. Goblin Hewer Slayers come over to aid Malachi, the best of them, as Malachi takes another shot from Tyrion. Once again, that 0 melee defense coming into play. I mean, Tyrion has 62 melee attack, but still, I mean, he is literally hitting Malachi on cooldown. It's not 45 melee defense. That's just not how that works. Oh, hey, he died. Tyrion hit him 4 times in a row. That's crazy. Who could have ever predicted that Malachi's seemingly decently high melee defense doesn't matter worth dick because he's bugged or something. I don't know what it is. Miner's going to charge this lady. They're going to rout her. She shatters. No more caster for the high elves. As the Sunfang goes down, the miners should be able to eat that pretty easily. Goblin here actually ate it okay too. Silverhelm's very low. Fireborn, wherever they are, very low. It's up to the White Lions of Krace. It's up to Tyrion to carry this. And like, Tyrion might be able to. He's kind of wilding out here. Silverhelms aid their liege. Probably their final charge though. They're pretty wounded. How are the Hammerers doing? Ooh, not good. Okay, that's a little concerning. Hammerers are a little lower than I'd like if they were going to carry the rest of this game. Silverhelms routed off. Tyrion actually dangerously close to routing too. 1,000 HP on him. The Grim Delvers are back. The Grim Delvers are trying to shoot at the White Lions of Krace, but Tyrion's coming for him. No, turn your guns towards the threats upon you. Oh, dear God. We've been murdered, son. Oh, they're swinging back. Oh, they're swinging back. They're missing all their shots, but they're really trying. Tyrion's fine. Dwarves still ahead on the balance of power. Hope is not yet lost for the Forever Realms. Iskander, are you the Iskander of old, or are you a different Iskander? How's life-ish things? They're okay. Don't really want to go into it. They're okay. Been better, been worse. Malachi's a true slayer, always ready to die. I mean, yeah, he's really good at the dying part. Tyrion is leading the dwarves on a merry jaunt while his White Lions try and catch up. The dwarves need to accept that they can't really catch Tyrion and just kill the White Lions. It's something you see a lot of higher level players do that I would like to see more people adopt is necessary combatants. So your guys are all exhausted, meaning their stats are reduced. And when you know Tyrion's just going to cycle charge, what you can do is put like a miner and a hammerer in combat with the White Lions of Krace, and then just put everybody else in like a ring around the area and just rest them. Wait for them to get like a little bit of stats back, and then when something routs, then put another guy in, but you just kind of slowly feed them in while regenerating stats, rather than piling up too many things at once. Do have our last healthy-ish hammerer in the fight right where he wants to be, and that's probably going to be the game winner, is the hammerer being able to just churn through White Lions of Krace. As Tyrion tries to break some of these miners, army losses is going to take out the high elves. That's GG to the dwarves. RTK and Skander, hell yeah, dude, I remember you. Hope you're doing well. Hope life treats you better than my League of Legends teammates treat me. Haha! People tell me to quit, and I did, but I like the memes. 3,700 value on the Goblin Hewer is impressive. Nice job. Shark. Is it a shark that looks like a duck or a duck that looks like a shark? Oceanids got wrecked. Fireborn did eh. Silverhelms did eh. White Lions did fine. Tyrion did his best. Okay. So for the stream, we still have 5 replays. You only play ARAM. Smart. Smart and balanced. All right, we have a lot more vampire counts. We have a lot more dwarves. By a lot, I mean 1 and 2 out of 5. So let's get another vampire counts game in here, and let's just all bite the bullet. I'm expecting my viewership to tank. I know. Bite the bullet. We gotta cast it. Just get through it. Zin Money versus Ajaro, 3 Wrathmongers, and a Chosen with Halberds versus vampire counts. Get ready for a blob fight. It's just gonna happen. Just lock the fuck in. Grab yourself some snacks, a donut, some ice cream, and just pretend you're not here. All right. Zin Money is ready for the blob fight. Zombies, skeleton spears, skeleton boys, crypt horrors, a necromancer with the unholy stroking rod, mortis engine, which is going to have to kill all the Wrathmongers, Felbats, Vargeists, and the Von Karstein Vampire Lord that he seems to like so much, with Van Hels, Dan's Macabre, Invocation Neck, and Flock of Doom. Does Tyrion have regen, or do you just take a life caster? Tyrion has Heart of Avalorn, where he gets really low and then he heals himself up. On the other side of the Khorne forces, we have 3 Chaos Furies to have some air presence. Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons. The Wrathmongers we mentioned, including the Bloodweight Berserkers. We have Skulltaker on his throne for a bit of regen, and the Slaughter Guard. Pray don't focus the Mortis Engine. It's an idle game at this point. I love Vampire Count's mirror, very entertaining. All right, the Bloodweight Berserkers and the boys are in. And they are going to cleave through zombies very quickly as the Mortis Engine has to get to work, and it starts with gusto. Getting in there and starting to drain the Bloodweight Berserkers. Meanwhile, Skulltaker's chasing the Von Karstein Lord about. And so far, Khorne has not been able to fight in the skies very much. We saw the Furies briefly fight with Felbats, but then the Vargeists came and those guys all grounded themselves. As Zin Money gets his Von Karstein Lord back to the blob. The unholy blob. Is it a Sisters of Twilight type thing? Yes, but Tyrion's is actually good. You saw Tyrion heel capped himself in that last game based off of just the Heart of Avalorn. The Sisters of Twilight get a tiny, stupid, awful heal. So the Felbats are getting wrecked by the Chaos Furies of Khorne, and this is actually really bad for the vampire counts. Without the Vargeist there, the Felbats do literally no damage back to the Khorne Furies, but the Khorne Furies are getting kills right now, and Khorne really wants kills because the vampire count army might be a little tightly packed, let's say. And let's say you want to clear out a lot of that chaff very quickly, and let's say you have a giant floating sword type thing that kills everybody in a small circle. There's a lot of stuff to kill in this small circle is all I'm trying to get to. Vargeists fly back in the sky, but without Felbats, they're actually going to take significant damage. So this is a bit of a disaster for the vampire counts. They lost all 3 of their Felbats. The Vargeists are now also going to meet the same fate, and Khorne is going to be laughing tonight with a bunch of weirdly shaped bat skulls. Down to 1 Vargeist versus 3 Chaos Furies. The one thing that could save it is that the Chaos Furies are not undead. They are demonic. As we can see, when they get low, they just disappear. So one of them is gone. Another one's very close to going, and Zin Money does bring his Lord up to offer a little bit of assistance. Haven't seen a Sword of Khorne just yet. Bloodweight Berserkers are getting a little low. Other Wrathmongers, unfortunately for vampire counts, are still very, very healthy. Another Fury dies. The last Vargeist saved by an Invocation of Nehek. And the final Fury of Khorne is trying to dive to the ground, but looks like the vampire counts are actually just going to pursue it. They just don't want to deal with any more flying threats. All right. Bounce power is going in the vampire counts' favor for now, though they have lost 1,000 troops and Khorne has lost 200. So that seems a little unfair, but I also would agree. I think Khorne is largely doing fine. I think they're okay, so I do think the bounce power is on a little bit of drugs. Zombies are fading. In comes a nice breath attack from the Lord. Oh, huge damage on the Slaughter Guard. Beautiful breath attack down the side. That is probably a game winner. If the Vampire Counts end up winning, that breath attack was a big part of it. All right, Zin Money dives back in with his Lord, gets some decent shots on Skulltaker. Kind of surprised we haven't seen a Sword of Khorne yet. They definitely have enough kills. And you would just want to clear out this chaff so that your Wrathmongers can focus on Crypt Horrors, focus on the Mortis Engine, focus on those things. So yeah, you do just want to clear the zombies. Really surprised we haven't seen a Sword of Khorne yet. His Skulltaker continues to fight back. He is healing slowly in melee on his throne. He's starting to 1v1 the Mortis Engine, getting really good damage down, but a Flock of Doom comes in for these guys. It's getting harder and harder to see a Sword of Khorne coming in because they're running out of zombies to even cast it on. So I do have to think that's a missed opportunity though, because you've killed nearly 1,400 bodies at this point. There's the Sword of Khorne, but it's going to do friendly fire on the Wrathmongers. Too little, too late, my friend. There goes the sword. It hits the Chaos Furies. I guess the Wrathmongers have enough armor and low model count. They don't take that much damage, and it did delete an entire Skeleton Spear. Not a terrible Sword of Khorne, but I do think suboptimal, and I do think it was too late. As Zin Money pulls it out. I'm actually kind of surprised. Seeing the builds, I thought Khorne was just going to win this, but the Wrathmongers didn't get through everything as quickly as I thought they would. Mortis Engine went, and everybody died. For Ajaro, Wrathmongers, pretty good value considering they had to just fight zombies all the time. Chaos Furies did well. Skulltaker struggled. Mortis Engine had surprisingly low value, like, you know, good amount, 2,800, but I'm with Iskander. I thought it'd get like 8,000. Well, he said 5. I said 8. Okay, so we just cast Khorne. So, okay, we cast Dwarves, then to not cast Dwarves, we cast Vampire Counts versus Khorne, and now to not cast Khorne, we're gonna have to cast something else, because then we have Vampire Counts in the finals. Do you see? And we have Slaanesh and then Slaanesh. The master craft, shut up, listen to me, shut up. The mastercraft that goes into this, we have Alberic de Bordelot versus Anime Kid, to never cast the same faction twice in a row, it's a maze. It's a maze out there. And only a professional caster man could organize it in such a way to solve the puzzle in real time in front of all you people without planning this ahead of time, without hiring a team of analysts to get me through, to never cast the same faction twice in a row, just zigging and zagging all around. That's the kind of professionalism you can only get in one fucking place. And it's here. It's here. The family friendly, never swears, always cool headed, always professional analysis, never distracted Human Boy SES channel. And if you haven't subscribed, we have like 18K subscribers and there's 68 of you here. So I think the odds that you're not subscribed is pretty fucking low. But if you're not subscribed, I don't like that. I was gonna say something meaner, but that's fucked up. So I'm not gonna say anything mean. I don't like that you're not subscribed. So you should do that, and then give me all your money, because I want all your money. Because if I don't get your money, I might get distracted from games as they're occurring on the screen. Like I might not talk about the Chaos Dwarf's Lord currently trying to dive the skirmish gap. I might not do that if you don't give me your money. So give it to me. All right, enough memes. Let's focus up. Love to see Khorne lose. But where's that professional caster? That is the joke. I'm pretty ass. All right. Memes aside, let's do this. Slaanesh, we've seen a good bit of Slaanesh today from someone who was in the finals. We did see Alberic de Bordelot there, but this is our first time seeing Anime Kid on the Chaos Dwarves. For the Chaos Dwarves, we have 2 Bull Centaur Renders with great weapons. Ooh, 3 of them with great weapons. Orc Laborers, Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and then 3 Hobgoblin Archers with a Bale Taurus Lord, Fate of Buna, and Spirit Leech. I don't love Bull Centaur Renders with great weapons into Slaanesh because their armor piercing is going to be largely wasted. And Seekers are really good at killing them off. But not a lot of Seekers here, so that's fine. For Alberic de Bordelot and Slaanesh, we have Fiends, Chaos Furies, some Demonettes to get through armored front lines, Devoted Marauders with Hell Scourges or regular, and then we do have some Skirmish Cav. We have an Alluress of Shadows with Pit of Shades, and T'Challa. First time seeing her in quite a while, with her whirlwind blades and then her various dances. Neat. On the flanks, Slaanesh was picking off a Bull Centaur render that went too far from home. We do have another Bull Centaur render and an Orc Laborer coming over here, but this does not seem like a good idea. They should turn around and go home. Because already you're trying to bail out someone who's already dead, so you're still going to take a 3v2 and maybe get flanked by Demonettes. This just seems pretty risky. A Pit of Shade self-cast from the Allures. I forget how to make that bug happen, but I have heard about people having that thing where you try and cast it somewhere and then just cast on the character themselves instead. I think T'Challa's about to do her fancy spin move in the middle of these Chaos Dwarf Warriors, so kind of want to keep her on screen in case that happens. There it is. Spin! Spinning! Half their HP is gone. Over half their HP is gone. T'Challa's going to get through them very quickly. Chaos Furies onto the Hobgoblin Archers is pretty bad. Bull Centaur Render's trying to rear charge those, and the Allures is also getting shot. But on the flanks, where did that other Bull Centaur Render go? There he is. So the second out of 3, he's fighting in the Dark Forest, but he's surrounded by Chaos Furies, not able to escape, and the Fiends will soon be upon him as the second Bull Centaur Render is also out of the game. So we have the third and final one still around. T'Challa is currently messing up another Hobgoblin Archer. The one in the middle was peeled for. It's going okay. A breath attack from the Bull Centaur Lord. He got interrupted a little bit. He had a little acid reflux, but it's fine. Not a full belching of fire. Devoted Marauders getting through the Orc Laborers. They are getting stuck on Chaos Dwarf Warriors, wherever there isn't a Demonette to provide that significant armor piercing. Spirit Leaf down onto Fiends as the last Bull Centaur Render is in deep trouble. Getting debuffed by something. Soporific must bring their melee defense down to 31, making them easier targets. Pit of Shades out. This time does not self-cast on the Allures. This time it hits the last standing archer. T'Challa and the Fiends are teaming up on the Sorcerer Prophet of Death. This is probably the death knell for the Chaos Dwarves in this game. So there's a lot of Slaanesh units left. The balance of power is very much in Slaanesh's favor. There goes the Chaos Dwarf Lord. As soon as he routes, everything else is going to rout. Calling it. Calling it. I'm calling my shot. I've been wrong about army losses a lot today, but not this time. There he routes. There's army losses. He's back, baby. He's fucking back. At the start of this replay, you guys said I was unprofessional. You said I was stupid and dumb, but who called army losses perfectly? This fucking guy. And despite the caster saying that he's ass, I gleefully pay money. I have fooled you. I have fooled you into giving bad people money. All right, T'Challa did well. Short game, so not going to be a ton of value. Demonettes did well. Skirmish Cav did well. Furies did well. Fiends did well. They just mirror Bull Centaur Renders like Rot Knights. Very good in theory, but never working. Dude, 100% they're like Rot Knights. I don't know what it is, and I've talked about this before. Rot Knights are objectively a good unit, all right? I've seen good players use them well, so I'm not trying to say Rot Knights are bad. What I am saying is whenever I use Rot Knights, like one Rot Knight will hit what I want it to hit, and all other, like, I think 35 of them, or whatever their model count is, stand around and go, wow, Kevin, good job. Yeah, Kevin, you really hit that guy. Wow, Kevin, really proud of you. What are we supposed to be doing? I don't know. Let's stand around and cheer for Kevin. Oh, fuck, Kevin died. Like, same as Crushers. Same as Bull Centaur Renders for me. Like, one will make contact, and the others will all just, like, stand around. I don't know. All right, Anime Kid. His Lord got decent value. His infantry got largely stuffed. Some of the Chaos Warriors did better. Some of the Hobgoblin Archers did okay, and all three of his Bull Centaur Renders got le murdered. Okay, so we got the Slaanesh game, and now we'll go to Dwarves Khorne. Then we'll go to VC Tomb Kings, and it's Skaven Slaanesh. Right. So this is our last non-semi-final game because we have to cast Capsicum. It's the only replay I saw from Capsicum. Duck Shark back with his patented Malachi, lots of guns, and hammerers build that we all know and love. Duck Shark, if you're still in chat, throw a hand up. Let the people see you. Tell him why the hell do you keep taking Malachi. Take Grombrindle, he's my boy. Fucking love Grombrindle. Grombrindle, and then second, Ungrim Iron Fist. Not Malachi, never Malachi. Malachi sucks. Malachi's a piece of shit. Do I think Malachi is a bad lord in terms of meta? No, I'm entirely talking about vibes. Vibes? Grombrindle, my boy. Angry, big beard, big axe. Love him. Look at this. Look at this beta male dwarf. Oh, I have a gun. Oh, I have a gun that I use to shoot people. Boo! Big axe. Big axe. Big axe. Belagar, not big axe. Wrong. That's Tiny Hammer Guy. Fuck Tiny Hammer Guy. Big axe. Big axe. All right, let's get serious. Come on. Frontline, minus blasting charges. We have 2 hammerers in the build, both on, well, one's in the center-ish, and then one's in the left flank. And then we have some more miners, some dwarf warriors here and there. His patented lots of shooting, 2 bolt throwers, 1 cannon, 1 goblin hero with Malachi giving them artillery buffs. On the other side for Khorne of the last player we haven't seen yet today, we have some Fleshhounds flanking. Ooh, Rangers. Okay. Fleshhounds flanking, 2 Blood Crushers of Khorne also trying to go through the trees to minimize their damage. An Exalted Hero of Khorne who has taken a lot of damage already. Chaos Warriors with dual weapons and Marauders in the front line. A Gorby's Chariot and Skulltaker on his Chariot. I am very concerned about this Khorne build. Their infantry lacks the armor piercing to get through the Dwarven front line quickly, so that's not going to go anywhere. And then as you can see, the Chariots are taking a lot of damage already from the cannon and bolt thrower abundance. So really this game is on the 2 Blood Crushers. The Cav micro is going to have to be insane. And like in a new player tournament, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I am being real. In a new player tournament, I don't expect perfect Cav micro. I don't even expect it out of a lot of like more top level players. There are players who are just not great with their cavalry. Hey, it's me. I'm the one I'm talking about. So in a new player tournament, it's pretty hard for me to imagine someone playing so well with 2 cav pieces that they win the game. So I'm sus, is what I'm trying to say. Skulltaker getting instantly deleted by the Grim Delvers plus cannons. So Khorne's already lost their lord, which is pretty bad for them. Marauders thinking about routing already. Meanwhile, really good cav play so far. Did manage to spread his Blood Crushers across 3 different artillery pieces and try and disrupt all of them. Problem though, those hammerers, those sneaky, dastardly hammerers that Duck Shark likes to bring, do saturate the Blood Crushers. Already Demonic Instability Crumble 1 and half HP the other. And we are off to a very quick Chaos Dwarf lead. As Chaos Warriors and Marauders getting shotgunned down, Blood Crushers rear charge the Grim Delvers, but still, we did disrupt 2 artillery pieces and knock them offline. There are 2 left, including the Goblin Hewers, which are pouring axes into anyone they can get their filthy dwarf hands on. Don't take that, don't clip that out of context. We are talking about the dwarfs from Warhammer Fantasy. And their hands are quite filthy. They're covered in the blood of their enemies. Bolt Thrower crew under attack by the Fleshhounds. Meanwhile, Miners and Dwarf Warriors trying to peel off the other ones. Malachi is safe and sound, shooting at the Exalted Hero of Khorne. And the Rangers in the trees doing their best Wood Elf impersonation and just occasionally firing arrows out onto the battlefield. They are not at risk of joining. Fleshhounds hit the back line. Unfortunately, that back line is actually a front line because the Goblin Hero crew is just Slayers. RIP. Slayers hitting the Fleshhounds of Khorne, who do get the Horn of Khorne to stay in it for a little bit. Gorby's Chariot also managing to cling to life. 1 model left, very little HP, and surrounded by Thunderers. It's actually just going to peace out. Army losses takes care of the rest of them. And the Dwarves remain OP. OP, OP, OP. Good win by Duck Shark. Malachi held his ground. Hammerers slapped Blood Crushers. My God. Bolt Throwers and Cannon did very well in a short amount of time. For Cappy, I mean, it's tough. Khorne Dwarves can be a very tough matchup, especially if you're not just going to abuse Wrathmongers, so yeah. RIP. It's your favorite streamer. Whoa! That's high praise. Also, I'm sorry for shouting. That's on me. Sorry for shouting. But good to have you, buddy. Okay, so now we have the semifinals. If you saw the finals earlier, you know who wins these, which is why I put them off until now. But I don't know. Some people wanted a live game, and we got there. So let's do it. Do the Grim Delvers have stock? I forget. See? All right, chat. Zin Money versus Arthur B first, or Gordon Ramsay versus Al Berg first? What do you want? Spam and chat. Also, if Zin Money is still here, then I'm just going to go with his no matter what chat says, because Zin Money's my favorite person. But if he's not here, then I don't know. Screw that guy. We're not going to cast his game. What are we casting? Shout it out. Definitely not using this as a ploy so I can take a drink of water and not have to keep casting for 2 seconds. Oh my god, not water is delicious. Definitely not drinking water right now is just the best thing to be doing. My vocal cords feel stronger. Oh! That is great. Belagar, Belagar is not one of the options. Zin if you want to have a good finale. Okay, so Skaven Slanesh should be our finale. Drink more water. Okay, that's not one of the replays either. And I'm not drinking water, Sir Capbeard. It's definitely not happening. No one is telling me what game to watch. I just want Chad to tell me what to do. I don't want to have to make decisions. All right, water's all gone. Let's fucking do this. Go Skaven Slanesh, get the pain over with. Let's go, Gordon. Zen Money's in chat. Oh, I don't know why, but my brain picks certain people and just like latches onto them as cool people, and for all I know, they're like the worst. Like, I don't know Zen Money. For all I know, he's a bad person. I hope not, but he could be. But like, I just, like, over a year ago, he was playing at some tournament. I remember he took some crazy vampire counts builds, and then he pops back up, and I'm like, hey, it's Zen Money! And like, I don't know. But I do that all the time. Like Hayseed. Hayseed popped up, just kept taking Kolek Suneater, and I remembered him forever, and I'm like, I don't actually know you, but I'm... I like your build. All right. Let's go. For Gordon Ramsay, a front line of Storm Vermin Halberds, 4 of them, 5 Skaven Slave Singers, and then 4 Rat Ogres, and 2 Hell Pit Abominations. I forget if we mentioned that. Warlock Master on foot with Flensing Ruin and Brass Orb. Isn't that just ADHD? I don't know, maybe. On the other side, 5 Slongors, 2 Fiends, 2 Exalted Demonettes? Yeah, 2 Exalted Demonettes, a Forsaken, a Whip, some Hellstriders, 2 Fiends, and a Herald of Slanesh with Melkoths and Pit of Shades. Very ready for the Storm Vermin spam. They must be a good person if they take Kola. Only good people take Kola. Hell Pit Abomination trying to run away from Fiends, presenting its butt to them, as it loves to do. And the Fiends try and pile through. Now, this is nice about this Skaven build is it's 5 Skaven Slave Slingers, so you don't really have a backline you're defending. Like, if they shoot, great. If they get shut down, then whatever. Each of them is 200 gold, so you don't really care that much. Rat Ogres getting Power Fist Croxagord is a bit of a problem, though. Storm Vermin won their fight against the Slongors, pushed them away. You need to be careful not to overextend into the desert, because you're not going to catch Slongors. They're way too fast. 60 speed on those guys. So you just don't want to get separated out. Pit of Shades coming for the rats. Not gonna dodge. Some of them dodge, but I don't know if they're doing that intentionally. The rest just get slurped up into the violence of Pit of Shades. Decent amount of damage there onto those Storm Vermin Halberds as the Hell Pit Abominations continue to go nuts. Skaven Slave backline is shut down. I think we'll be seeing all of them rout within short order. And the Warlock Master is just vibing. He's standing there. Judging by the HP of the Herald of Slanesh, she has not been Flensing Ruin. In fact, I can see it. It is on top of 2 Fiends. Not a bad target. Normally, I'm critical of any Flensing Rune that's not cast onto a single entity, but Fiends are 16 models, so still the damage is pretty good, and they're very expensive units. So that one gets a hesitant thumbs up. Usually, you just want to cast Flensing Rune on the enemy Lord, especially when the enemy Lord is only a 4,000 HP foot caster. But perhaps she was staying out of range until Flensing Rune was cast, and now she's in, so I guess it's like, well, do you cast it on Fiends or on nothing? Don't know. Don't know what was going through the players' minds, just saying Fiends is fine. It's not a terrible choice to Flensing Rune them. Storm Vermin and Hell Pits continuing to fight. We have one Hell Pit that is in the middle of nowhere with no infantry support. He does need to return to the fold. Otherwise, he will get surrounded and eventually beat to death by Fiends and Forsaken. And honestly, Exalted Demonettes. Exalted Demonette's going to be a big problem for Hell Pits. Fiends are back into the fight next to the giant Molder monsters. We're trying to fight back into them. Unfortunately, he doesn't have good splash damage, so every time he accidentally attacks an infantry unit, he's going to kill like one infantry. And taking quite a while to kill the rest of these guys. He continues to cleave through what he can. Another Hell Pit rides to the aid of the Warlock Master, who did get narcissismed. But he's on foot, actually. He's in incredible danger from anybody. These Slongors are also going to do a lot of damage to him. Fascination's rampaging this poor guy into Slongors. All of Slaanesh being immune to psychology means these low leadership bars aren't going anywhere. They're not going to terror out or anything. The Slongors should be able to tear the Warlock Master limb from limb. The Fiend's actually knocking him around might keep him relatively safe. It does seem to be doing such. One Hell Pit, half HP. The other one is full HP. Storm Vermin Halberd starting to rout in every direction. You have Rat Ogres casually returning to the fight, only to hit with Melkoths and just in general danger. Demonettes are going to catch him. Probably get these guys to rout yet again. C'est la vie, Rat Ogre. C'est la vie. Warlock Master down to half HP. Very low leadership. Don't know if he can get a Flensing Rune out onto the Herald of Slaanesh or not before he goes. He is trying for it. If he gets knocked down, it gets canceled. If he doesn't, it's going to go through. There it is. Nice Flensing Rune Overcast. Probably the best he could hope for since he was about to die. So just getting one of those out on the way is beautiful. Really good damage down onto two Fiends and the Herald of Slaanesh. Might actually keep the Skaven in this game. 1,500 value for him and climbing. One of the Fiends is going to fade away. Slongors are starting to rout, and there is hope for Skaven. Rat Ogres on the final charge. Demonettes are just going to slice through them and shatter them off, so they're gone. Gone forever. A Melkoth's down on the Warlock Master, who's somehow not dead. The Herald of Slaanesh is getting chased off by the Hell Pit Abomination. We have some Fiends nearby. Do Slaanesh have the anti-large chops to kill two Hell Pits? The answer might be no. Chaos Fury Summon is going to chase the Warlock Master for a little bit. They're notoriously terrible at actually dealing damage to anyone they're chasing, though, so this is going to be a temporary measure. Something else is going to have to chase him, otherwise when they fade away, he will simply return. Hell Pit's just fighting anybody they get their claws on. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking around. I was looking around at things. The hell, bros. Sorry, I was reading chat. I was probably quiet for an awkwardly long time. Oops. Chaos Fury Summon gonna fade away in 13 seconds. You can see the Warlock Master is still fine. I can actually hit this fancy fast forward button. As Slaanesh is trying to just chase off anything that's not the Hell Pits and leave them all alone, but the Warlock Master returns. And he's going to get rampaged yet again. One of the Hell Pits is trying to path out to save him. But while rampaged, he gets out of Flensing Ruin. Hey, let's go. It's undercast, but still. Clutch. Because he's probably going to rout again, so he just throws it out real quick. Ooh, and an overcast of some kind. Overcasted Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, damaging the Herald of Slaanesh. Maybe a bit of a Slaanesh throw. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cleansing Ruin runs out, and her leadership is doing okay. In comes a Brass Orb onto the healthy Exalted Demonette. That is most of your oomph when you're going to kill these Hell Pits in the late game. That's a really good Brass Orb. Man, this Warlock Master returning to the fight has been brutal for Slaanesh. Uh-oh. Hell Pits and the boys taking the lead on the balance of power. In come more infantry. Warlock Master getting very low. This is going to be a problem. When the Warlock Master routs, that'll leave the Hell Pits just monsters on their own, and their leadership is not ideal without a Lord. It's high for Skaven, but like, I don't know. Most big monsters in the game don't have the best leadership because they easily get surrounded, so then you get like attacked in the rear debuff and stuff. Warlock Master very close to dead, 500 HP and falling as the Exalted Demonettes try and chase him down with some Fiend support. Meanwhile, Slaanesh is just chucking every cheap piece of garbage they can at the Hell Pits to buy some time, to get some damage out. Exalted Demonettes in there as well. And again, Slaanesh has all immune to psychology. They are not going to tear her out ever, so you do have to actually route them each and every time, which can be a bit difficult. We also get to play a bit of the Skaven RNG with Hell Pits, seeing if they get their heal or if they instantly kill themselves and turn into a bunch of tiny Skaven slave spears. Because that could be quite bad. We are about to see one of those RNG simulators coming up very soon. As the Hell Pit Abomination is getting close to it's too horrible to die. Less than 10% HP. Which would be about 600, so I guess he has still quite a while to go. His leadership's not going to last that long, however. With his Lord is dead, you can see he's going to start to rout very soon. He's healing up while he can, but he is going to rout off. Balance of power is heavily against the Hell Pit Abominations now, as they try and get a mass rout going, but it's just not going to happen. Man, Slaanesh is really low, but their leadership's fine. And the Hell Pit's leadership is not. Hey, since he was routing, honestly, getting the Skaven Slave Spears was probably better than getting the heal, since he was already routing. So we do get some spears out. Decent damage on the Herald of Slaanesh. I guess not that much damage, just their leadership is faltering. But could this be the Skaven Slave carry? If the Skaven Slaves can actually get her demonic instability crumble, they could actually totally win the game. So many of these infantry units would rout if their Lord was dead. But the Skaven Slaves aren't able to quite do it. They only did like 20 damage to her, but it was just her leadership was so low was the problem. Hell Pit is about to rout, and that'll take Slaanesh to the finals. There he goes. We already know Alberic got to the finals, if you remember that from a crisp like 45 minutes ago. But still a fun game to cast. And if you remember from a crisp 45 minutes ago, you remember that Alberic came in second overall. So who won? I wonder. Again, if you don't remember or if you popped in and out of the stream, then the next game will be a shocking one for you. But whoever wins this other semifinal wins the whole tournament because they end up defeating Slaanesh in the finals. Is it my boy, the legend, Zin Money? Or is it some random named Arthur B, who I think this is my first time having the pleasure of casting them. I think. Arthur B doubling down, man. Every time we've seen him in this tourney, he has Archon and a Bone Giant. He's ditched the Chosen of the Gods. He's gotten a second Bone Giant and a Casket.
Break them.
Casket of Souls, 2 Bone Giants, a Sphinx of Usep, Archon the Black on horseback with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. And then some spears, skeleton warriors, 1 Tomb Guard with halberds, but a lot of shooting. And aside for Zin Money, we have an Unholy Blob that is going to need to separate because the Casket of Souls is going to get a lot of bonus damage. Zombies, Cunningstein Stalkers, Corpse Cart with an Unholy Lodestone, Crypt Horrors, Fellbats, Vargeists, Blood Knights, and a White King. And then where's the Lord? It's Manfred on horseback with Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, and Doom and Darkness. Interesting. Interesting build from the Vampire Counts. as the Fellbats dive in onto the Casket of Souls. They're just trying to stop it from firing for a little bit, give their zombies time to get here. Same with the Giant. They're not really here to deal damage. Corpse Cart under attack by the Double Bone Giant. Unable to dodge. Definitely too slow to dodge, so it's easy prey. But Manfred and the Vargeists fly in. Spirit Leech is down onto Arkin and onto Manfred, but so both sides just Spirit Leeching each other. As the Sphinx Usef is in here getting good damage out. Meanwhile, all the Flyers doing what they can to cause disruption, but they're pretty bad at killing small single entities like this. You can see they're kind of flapping around, just struggling to get damage onto the Casket of Souls. They're getting it done, but just not like crazy quickly. They're doing their best. Manfred's getting low. He's going to back off soon. He's a vampire. Lots of healing available to him as long as he's not sitting in front of the fire damage dealing anti-large Sphinx Usef, so he does need to get to safety briefly. Corpse Cart's going to die before it really got to participate in the fun, so rip Corpse Cart. And the Vargeist also taking an abundance of damage, but did they do their job? Yes, they got the vampire counts into the melee. Blood Knights, zombies, Crypt Horrors gonna have to try and get through that front line, which is difficult. I mean, zombies are not good at killing things, obviously. It would be kind of OP if they were, because they're only 100 gold. It's not like the vampire counts can rely on their infantry to easily dominate the skeletons and get onto the back line, like we saw Slomgors do versus Warriors of Chaos earlier on. So I'm getting a little worried about the vampire count's damage output. It is low. Manfred's back in the sky. Spirit Leech is going to hit him as Vargeist and he are trying to get some healing for a bit. Still have Blood Knights. I swear there were two. Yeah, there's the second one. Second Blood Knight as well, but they're having difficulties getting through the infantry. So White King is now under attack. He is technically on horseback, so the Sphinx does get all of its significant bonus versus large versus him, which means he does not want this fight. He does need to back off. Manfred with another Spirit Leech down onto Arkin, who has less access to healing than he does. Could snipe him out. And another positive to look at for the vampires is the ranged units are very expensive and there are a lot of balance of power, but they're not able to get as many good shots off in melee. So they will not be as effective as they were at the very start. Ushabti summon is out onto the Blood Knights, however, and the balance of power is very bad for the vampire counts, so maybe the silver lining is unjustified. Maybe everything is gray and sadness after all. Manfred getting Spirit Leeched. Does wander into Skeleton Warriors and Tomb Guard. He's trying to get his Sword of Holy Power. He's just trying to get a lot more Winds of Magic more quickly and get some damage out. Blood Knights really trying to make an impact, but one is surrounded now by spears. Ushabti locking them in, and the Sphinx Usef's getting a lot of damage out. Bone Giant rips a shot at Manfred that honestly could have ended the game, but he dodges it, keeping the balance of power alive for now. Blood Knights do get in onto the Bone Giant. Finally get a good surround onto him, with Crypt Horrors helping out as well. But they are non-armor piercing, so the Bone Giant will be a little tankier than you might expect to it. He only has 60 armor, fair, but armor is still armor. Army losses is going to hit soon, and that Spirit Leech on Manfred is probably one shot too many for the vampire counts to deal with. Arkin even throws out a summon just to be a dick about it, and there goes army losses. Tomb Kings, as we know, advance to the finals, and they do defeat Slaanesh there. GG's, boys. GG's. Congrats to Arthur B for winning the whole tournament. And Zin Money, props to you for playing vampire counts. Not a lot of people do these days. They have seen better moments. Just scrolling through. No crazy values for the Tomb Kings. Bone Giants and the Sphinx did a lot, which you would guess. For the vampire counts, Manfred struggled a bit. Blood Knights really just couldn't get involved in any fight that they wanted to. And then Vargeist and Crypt Horrors struggled too. GG's, thanks for the games, boys. I couldn't agree more. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. As you can see here, I still have some new player replays to do for those standalone videos. I'll probably be recording some of those today. I also have a Sweaty Tryhard tournament from yesterday that I'm going to stream at some point. Not right now. We have semifinals and finals from that to stream. And then I just have a good game that I'm going to make a video for. Friggin' 6 Marauder champions versus my Cathay. And that game was a banger, let me tell you. I won, but still. It was good. I did win, though. I won. Shut up. Shut up, dude. Go to hell. Put him in. All right, I'm leaving. I'm out. Also, stop asking me where Tequila Sunset is. He's taking a break from streaming Total War because viewership's down. That I'm not his keeper. So many comments on my videos are like, "Where's Tequila?" I don't know. The Skaven vs. Norsk game from this tourney might be worth checking out. All right, I'll resave it, and I'll just I'll check it out in my own time and put it under my normal. My normal review process where I look at it and I just decide if it's good enough to make an independent video or not. But the Skaven vs. Norska. I found a Skaven vs. Norska game. But I did cast one replay of everybody who sent me anything. Check if good. So I do not feel obligated to stream any more games. Everybody got at least one shot. Warhammer is dead. Dead games. Carbran, what the? All right, dude. All right, whatever. Whatever, dude. It was Globes versus a wave of Bearmen. Renataki. Renataki, what's your deal? What's your plan, bud? Are you you're gonna start streaming these? Do you normally stream Domination? Who are you? What did you pitch yourself to the people, sir? And if you have a channel, link it. I don't know. All right, there you go. There. I'll keep the stream alive long enough for Renataki to promote himself. I thought you were going to get into casting. I don't know, dude. You are from RTK. I got that. I understand that. Started doing casting of games in Dom. Okay, that's something. Where do you cast those? YouTube, Kick, Twitch? Post a link. Promote yourself! How do you become a big time mega superstar if you don't tell nobody who you is? Get out there. I'm getting pissed off. Killian and myself started Warhammer League. That's cool. That's nice. All right, hopefully Renataki's going to post his channel in the chat if he has a channel. If he doesn't have a channel, then I guess I'm just an asshole. But RTK does host tournaments every weekend, like the one we just cast. They host Land Battles and Domination. Domination is every week for sure. Land Battles might be every other week, might be every week. I think it depends mostly on player interest, so keep your eye out for that. But if you are, you know, if you're into any new player games, any game mode, RTK's server is a great place for that. They've been hosting a lot of fun new player events for us and for other people. Renataki did just put his link in the chat. YouTube.com/@Ren. Brainiac, look at this beautiful channel. My God. My God. So he might be streaming some of the games in the future. Other than that, it sounds like he already streams Domination stuff. So always happy to promote other content creators. Tequila Sunset's taking a bit of a break, but looks like Renataki isn't. Look at that profile picture. How could you not want to hang out with that profile picture? Anyway, as for stuff around our channel, I think the next tournament I'm going to host is going to be a Faction War qualifier, because we do have to host one of those soon. And then I'm hoping to do some more of my fun events. Either the map event I did, which if you don't know, then whatever, like, not going to explain it now, but either that kind of like risk-like map I did, or maybe some Gladiator. Other people liked 2v2 stuff, but I've been doing a lot of new player content recently, and I think I'm going to pivot to more sweaty tryhard content or for fun content again. Not forever, but just like, all right, we've done like 2 or 3 weeks focused on new players. That's great. we love our new players, but also like the non-new players need some shit to do. So yeah, gonna host some try hard or more fun events in the future here, but I'll cast some RTK new player tournaments here and there. Tori talked about me reviving some of the land battles and assist. Yeah. I'm not subbed. I heard about this YouTube channel literally today. You know what? I'm fine. I'll sub you bullies. Jesus. There. I did it. I did it. Are you happy? It's now higher than LC. Ooh, LCS. Ooh, League of Legends is on. Yay. Oh, that's so exciting for me. Anyway, fine. I subbed you. I bet Renataki isn't even subbed to me though. So this is fucked up. How could you do that? Dom has a lot more players, to be fair. I mean, that's a larger conversation. Gordon Ramsay. But like, it's kind of, for me, it's a chicken or the egg. Does Dom have more players because more people want to play Dom? Or does Dom have more players because Turin, the biggest, by far most popular streamer, streams Dom, and he streams more consistently than any other streamer, right? Like, he streams more often than I do because it's his full-time job. He hosts more tournaments than I do and all that stuff, right? So is it because your biggest content creator is funneling all of the new players that would enter the multiplayer scene into Domination, that Domination is bigger? Or is it that Turin is covering Domination because Domination's bigger, right? So it's like, do the players lead Turin? Does Turin lead the players? Is it a bit of both? That kind of thing. Because I don't know. I've seen plenty of people who still want to play Conquest and land battles. I think people just like events. I think people like both game modes. And obviously varies person to person. You have people like Catholic Alcoholic, who I barely ever see any land battle or Conquest stuff out of, but he plays Domination. You have people like, I mean, me. I don't really play Domination that much. I will if I have to in like a fun event. I'll just play it. But I stick to Conquest and land battles for the most part. And you have people like Berserker and Blood Penguin who play both regularly, so it's kind of like, you know, how many people out there are like Berserk and Blood Penguin and they just want to play Warhammer. They don't really care what game mode it is. So yeah, I don't know. Dom's fine. I'm not trying to be a hater. I prefer land battles and Conquest, but because I have a preference doesn't mean I have to shit on the other one, right? It's fine. I've cast some Dom games when there's a fun event going on. Fun events are fun events, man. Doesn't matter what game mode it is. All right, that's it for today. Subscribe to Renataki because he's a legend. Join the RTK Discord because they host a bunch of fun events like the one you just saw. If you want more Warhammer content, Tactical Lich is a good shout out. Maverick Sloth is a good shout out. Turin, I guess. If you're here and you don't know about Turin, I don't know how that fucking happened, but yeah, Turin's the biggest, best, and most frequent streamer, so yeah, you should probably subscribe to that. Anticity also does some multiplayer stuff, though I think he does a lot of modded things, so when you're watching his channel, you gotta remember that some of it's modded. Yeah, I'm done. This is just rambling at this point. Get out of here. Shoo, go.